What's happening?
Ooh, hello.
No.
How are we doing?
Sorry. You guys wake up, for Christ's sake. Let's go.
Just a
I was
flawless
about to just start coughing.
Well, I've been
awkward. Sorry.
Hey, the same thing happens to me this time of the year when it gets cold and it gets warm and it gets cold. I get kind of cloggy. I don't know if it's clogged up throat, but I have to clear my throat all the time. The hell is that? Explain it to me.
I don't know. It's feels like every time it shifts from fall to whether you have allergies or not, it just feels congested 24/7.
I think now too, just because it's going to warm up today, it's almost like your body's thinking, oh, it's like spring-ish is coming back, and then we're going to drop right back down. So like my allergies have been worse than normal.
I was telling the guys, I ducked in. We're on the second floor of a huge office building in St. Louis Park, and I walk in the men's room. There's 3 bugs in there. It's like, what? How the hell would a bug get in a second floor bathroom in the middle of a building? I mean, they had to go way out of their way. Or do you think they came in through the air vent?
I
Probably the air vent.
Yeah,
probably that, or front door. They took the elevator, got off.
Got off at the right floor.
Press the button.
Could be. Who the hell knows? But yeah, what AJ's talking about, windy and warm, increasing clouds with a high of 65 today. Clearing and cooler tonight, a low of 38. Then Wednesday, mostly sunny with a high of 60. Thursday, windy and warm, high of 62. And then Friday, she kind of hits the fan at 44 for the high, 47 Saturday, 47 Sunday. But the next 3 days, today, tomorrow, and Thursday, in the 60s. So, and again, people are, oh, is that a bad? No, it's not a bad thing. Let me ask you a question about that. Because of global warming, and what I'm not convinced that it's anywhere near as severe as they claim it is, just like everything else they talk about.
Right.
But people panic. It has been 77 degrees. Well, it was 2 days ago. I guess it was November 12th. It was 77 degrees on that day once. So it was nowhere near 77 degrees. Why do people always want to lead toward the, oh my God, the Earth's going to explode?
Yeah, you always get the ice caps are melting at this rate, and the California is going to fall off the side of the country and whatever else. And so yeah, there's always some climate-related, geographical-related terrorism going on that we all have to be scared of.
Right. And now I found out that it is true, and I didn't believe it at first, but other people came up. But electric cars pollute every bit as much as a gasoline car.
Yeah, because I believe it's the way that you have to mine for the lithium and the process of building the car. Like for
the gas you're using to like get the lithium is
it's like
offsets.
Yep.
So why do we always go through this? It's like, why do you have to lie to us that one is better than the other? Look, I have an electric car. My wife has a hybrid. We try to do our best and all the rest of it. Turns out it's all bullshit.
Right.
I think the problem is it's not something that just like ordinary people like us are impacting. Like it's factories that are like puffing smoke up into the air. Like nothing that I do, me using a straw and throwing it away is not going to wreck the earth. It's BP oil spilling 1 million gallons of oil in the ocean. That's what's ruining stuff.
I agree. I agree completely. Oh, we're just level-headed here. Let's be honest.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Very level-headed.
Laid back, cool, calm, collected.
Exactly. So partly cloudy, 52 now, but 65 later on today. A lot of great stories in the news. I don't want to jump into them because we got about 5 minutes before we go to break and then come back with Judd Zulgad. But woman has to call into work after Seal blocks her car. Now, that's not the artist, is it? Seal? Wasn't there a singer named Seal?
That would be so much.
Would it be phenomenal?
Oh my God, that'd be the best surprise ever.
That would be great.
Boss, I gotta take the day. Seal is serenading me in my driveway.
You're never gonna believe this story.
That'd be great if Seal actually showed up and blocked her car. That'd be great. No, you know what? I got to read this one because this one intrigues me.
All right.
The headline, city residents feel unsafe because of grocery store clerk's shirt.
Yes.
What?
Feel unsafe?
Unsafe because of your...
Unsafe.
Listen, that blue shirt you got on today is upsetting me. Yeah. Gold Bar resident says clerk's shirt is crossing a line as some feel unsafe in the grocery store. Gold Bar is in Washington, by the way. Oh, it's Snohomish County. Okay. In Snohomish County, some residents told KIRO, Channel 7. Nobody watches us anymore.
Is that their official tag?
Hero 7 woke up this morning and did not expect that shot.
Like, oh, they're doing our story. They're doing our story.
Well, it's true. Although I do watch Channel 5 news with long as Egert's on and some of my favorite people. Got a couple of assholes over there I'm not wild about, but you know.
Right. And I'll watch any news station if somebody that I know personally is on.
Yeah, that's true.
Station.
That's true. I used to watch Pass all the time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. In Snohomish County, some residents told Kiro 7 they feel unsafe going to the local grocery store. Over the weekend, controversial photos of a cashier at Gold Bar Family Grocer appeared on social media. The photos show a man with a KKK shirt and a loaded holster checking out customers. Where do you get? Oh, I'm looking at the picture of the shirt. That's a little. Why would you wear that to work?
So he had a loaded gun on his hip. Is that what I heard?
Well, it says, loaded holster. It says loaded holster. So that's got to be a gun. What else would it be?
Because I'm not thrilled about the KKK shirt, but
just wait till you hear what
they buried the lead with loaded gun on store clerk.
They did.
That's
You're right.
really what.
Wait till you hear the words on the shirt, because
really?
I didn't know the KKK got so festive.
Oh, they're festive.
Yes.
Okay.
I'll let you keep going.
Did we? There were just a couple of periods they had a KKK deal here, didn't they? A couple of times, but I don't think there was any KKK.
Are they trying to like rebrand and be more family friendly, more inclusive?
Well, we like you if you're not all black.
Right. There's a certain percentage of black that you can still get into the KKK. They just announced, if you're 10% or less, you can come on.
You're good anyway. Yeah. Okay, the shirt bears the words, "I'm dreaming of a white Christmas, Knights of the Ku Klux Klan."
I didn't know they have like seasonal merch.
Jeez.
I didn't either.
Like what is happening?
They're dropping their limited release Christmas hoodie.
Honest to God.
On Black Friday.
It's true.
The irony. Dropping the white supremacist hoodie on Black Friday.
They hate how good of deals there are.
What is wrong with it? Are people getting crazier by the minute?
Yes, yeah,
they
absolutely.
really are. Why are people getting so nuts? The world's a scary place right now, and Gold Bar should be a safe haven for those of us who live here, said Gold Bar resident Lynn Kelly. That's crossing a line. That's not okay. Lynn Kelly, I've never liked the Irish. Thank you very much. Great to be here. She believes that. Remember this, I'll never forget that line that I cannot say, but you can clean it up and say when the sheriff stands up and says, "We'll take the blacks and the Chinese, but we don't want the Irish."
Yep.
But they didn't say blacks and Chinese.
Right.
That's the problem with it. So here's the deal. Meanwhile, fellow resident Jessica believes the man should be allowed to wear whatever shirt he wants. Freedom of speech, said Jessica. Didn't everyone fight for our freedoms for free speech so we could do what we want here? If the company's not against it, the company's not against it. We spoke with an expert on hate speech. Caitlin Carlson is a professor of communications at Seattle University, has published a book called Hate Speech. The KKK is a hate group, said Carlson, and so this messaging is very much hate speech, but it's allowed under the First Amendment. Yeah, and that's a nice argument that it is allowed. You can wear it if you want, but why would you want to wear a KKK shirt to work?
Awfully convenient for Jessica to not have her last name in this story.
Yeah, well,
convenient.
Right.
That's a good point. That is true. But I just don't understand why you would. And didn't they make him put out like an apron on or something so you could only see the very top of it?
Yeah, probably. You can. Like, okay, sure, freedom of speech, but like you're saying, why would you want to? And then also, regardless of what group your shirt is expressing hate for,
right?
Don't act surprised when somebody might try and take that shirt from you and beat you up.
Like, I just want to know how that gets to like the floor, like the retail floor, because you show up for work, you have to go clock in, you got to get your apron. How does a supervisor, a manager not like see them be like, yeah, that's not dress code for work?
Right. Yeah. One, not dress code, and two, because I can wear what I want. I'm going to sue you. You go ahead and you have fun trying to sue us for making you go home for your KKK shirt.
That's very true. I've told this story before. Don't identify anybody, but we did have a guy who lived about 3 blocks away from us in North Minneapolis, and he had a Nazi flag hanging out of his window, the front of his house. So he had the Nazi symbol flag hanging out. Mm-hmm. And so I asked him about it one time. I said, "Why do you put that up there?" He said, "Oh, it's because I believe that they might have been right." I said, "Really? Because the rest of the world didn't." He goes, "Well, what do you know?" And I said, "What do you mean?" He goes, "What are you?" I said, "What do you mean, what am I?" He goes, "What, like, do you go to church?" I said, "Yeah. As a matter of fact, I go to a Catholic school." And he goes, "Catholic, we hate you too." So that's real nice. Tell the little boy you hate them because he's Catholic.
As he's raising a Catholic flag to put up next to the Nazi flag.
Exactly. Yeah, great. Yeah, people get a little nuts with that stuff, don't you think?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Let's just dial her back, shall we? What do you say?
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Eagles are at XL Energy Center on their farewell tour on Saturday, November 18th, and you can see them with Catherine and me in my suite. To enter, just go to Tom Barnard app or the website at tombarnardshow.com. Listen for your name to be announced each day at 8:10, 9:10, and 10:10. Email us back by midnight at contest@tombarnardshow.com, and you will win today. Qualifier for the See the Eagles with me in my suite is David Elliott of Coon Rapids. David Elliott, email us by midnight tonight at contest@tombarnardshow.com. David Elliott of Coon Rapids, again, contest@tombarnardshow.com. Call us and you'll be there with us this Saturday night, as a matter of fact. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the lovely and talented Judd Zulgad from Score North.
Well, thank you very much. What a nice introduction.
We're having a hell
How
of
are we doing today?
We're doing fine today. We just thought, Tevin and I were talking about yesterday's show before this show started, because there were periods where people talked for like 25 minutes and wouldn't let anybody else talk. I'm like, you can't really do that when there's so many people, let's not do that.
What happened?
Oh, no.
Apparently me and Brittany had our own segment yesterday.
Apparently.
I'm unaware of when this segment was, but we're going to have to check the tape.
It's when AJ and I went and had lunch.
Hey, thanks for picking up the bill yesterday, Tom.
Not a problem at all.
Always love a nice meal at the Park Tavern.
Oh, I love the Park Tavern.
Absolutely.
You have your Park Tavern hat on? Nope. No, you got.
No, I took
Purple Daily hat on, but I've got my Park Tavern hat right here, Tom.
There
it's always ready to go.
He's got it with him. Now we're just talking about this guy in Snohomish, Washington, that's wearing a KKK hate shirt, working at the local grocery store.
His Christmas hoodie.
His Christmas hoodie, exactly. I just, the extremes of it all, I just don't understand why people get so extreme in their beliefs. And it's going on today. Look, all this hatred in the world right now is caused by political bullshit beliefs. I'm sorry, but it is. Because it's all about making money. They want to make money after making you feel so uneasy and uncomfortable. But I don't know. People are nuts right now. Why are people so nuts right now? What happened?
You're asking me to answer that question? I got enough trouble explaining sports problems that I have no idea. We went in the wrong direction at some point in time, but I'll be damned if I know exactly when it occurred. I just know that it occurred at some point. So I don't know. But I did love your text Saturday afternoon. I'm watching the Gophers on the couch and my phone buzzes. Tom Barnard outraged about a performance that deserved outrage. That deserved anger.
Please. It was absolutely horrible. Why is he still the coach of that team? Go away and take what's the name of that outfit that Mark
Coyle.
What's his name?
Coyle.
Coyle.
The athletic director. Yeah.
Both of you. Go away.
How embarrassing was that?
Just terrible.
How do you give up that many yards to a 2-7 Purdue team?
Exactly. They're 2-7.
I know. You would have thought they were 9-0. Yeah, you would have thought they steamrolled them. I don't understand. I'm sitting there watching it, and I get your text. I'm like, yes, this is so true. It's maddening. It was absolutely. I mean, this season, it's almost too bad that they didn't lose the Iowa game in retrospect, where you had the fair catch called, because they did, with the way the season's gone, they deserve to lose that game. That would have been a fitting loss for this team.
No, you're absolutely right. I tried to be a Gopher fan the last time they won the title, I was 9 years old. They won the national championship the Gopher football team did, but I was 9 years old. So that's a couple years ago. And I've been a fan ever since. But the rest of my life since I was 9, that was also the first year of the Minnesota Twins and the Minnesota Vikings, 1961, right?
Yeah, it was right around there. Yeah,
absolutely. 60 or 61, I can't remember. But all that stuff happened at the same time. So it was very exciting for an 8, 9-year-old boy to say, my God, look at all this stuff that's coming.
Well,
but yeah. I wish some of it would have worked out because the Vikings and the Gophers haven't won a damn thing ever since. Twins won a couple of World Series, which was great. But what the hell? We got to get something going here with football in this state.
Yeah, well, their main focus is this week going 1-0 in the Ohio State season. So we're putting all our eggs in that basket with PJ Fleck and just trying to go 1-0 to be elite and row the boat. Sky Yuma.
Oh God, I hate that so much.
I think am I forgetting any other catchy slogans that he has? I heard something, Judd. So there was an article that came out, and it was talking about all of the coaches here in Minnesota and how the Vikings have a great players coach that the players love. Chris Finch is doing a good job with the Timberwolves. Paul Delly did a good job of getting the Twins to rally late last year. How sports is great. And then it goes to PJ Fleck, and it says that he makes his players stand up when he enters the room.
Yes, he does.
Meetings. Is that a thing?
And they flick the light too, apparently.
How much of a psychopath do you have to be to make your players? I'm not standing up when the football coach walks into the room. I'm sorry. Like, who are you?
Did they start doing like the Chicago Bulls like theme song? Like,
right.
Formerly of Western Michigan University, he's record overall.
Like, what are you, Jesus? You're not a judge. I'm not standing up when you enter the room. What happens if you forget something and walk back in? Do I have to now re-stand up and sit down? Like this, it's ridiculous. Like the most self-centered and narcissistic thing I think I've ever heard
of all time
from like anybody. Like you have to stand when I enter the room. Get out of here.
Richard Pryor said it best when he said, "Yeah, boy, I know Jesus." This guy, why would you ever think of it? First of all, if I was a player, I wouldn't do it. There's no way. You can cut me.
I'm standing up and I'm leaving and I'm going somewhere else. Like there's a transfer portal that's wide open. You have not won a damn thing in your entire career other than the Outback Bowl. I'm not standing up when you enter.
I agree. He's a dreadful coach. He's terrible. He's never won anything.
2019, he won the Outback Bowl. He beat Auburn, right?
Yep. Yeah, the number 12 ranked Auburn. Yep. And I think we finished.
That was their best year.
We finished the final polls in 10th, I believe, that year, right?
But I have a question. You beat one team that was good, and they weren't even in the top 10. How important is that?
I mean, when your mountaintop doesn't reach very high, you just settle for whatever victories you can get.
I suppose. I don't know.
I think I said this last week, but here's my thing. Until that program is willing to do whatever it takes to win, it doesn't matter. Like it just doesn't matter. They're not relevant. And keep in mind, you guys, next year the Big Ten is going back to being one conference. So instead of football divisions, it's going to be one big division, and they're adding like 4 teams. So unless you decide, you know what, we need to do more to try to win, no matter what that might entail.
Right.
It doesn't matter. It's not worth paying attention to unless you love Gopher football. But they're going to be in the bottom of that Big Ten for, in perpetuity, basically.
So what is that then? 16, 18 teams?
Yeah, it's going to be nuts. It's going to be nuts. Yep.
A lot.
Because what they want to do is, what their goal is, they don't want to, and I don't blame them here. So the Big Ten West has been horse crap. It's just awful. Mm-hmm. And the Big Ten West champion goes to the Big Ten championship game. And I think TV got pissed off because they kept, it's blowouts constantly.
Right.
Michigan blows out a team. Ohio State blows out a team. So what they're going to do now is just take the top 2 teams.
Oh, really? That's a good idea.
Yep.
That's what they should do. I don't know. Like I said, I've been trying to be a Gopher football fan since that. And by the way, I was not a Gopher football fan when I was 9 years old. I didn't even know anything about it. A couple of years later, when I turned like 11, 12, then I paid attention. Went, oh my God, they just won the national championship a couple of years ago. I better start watching them in case they do it again. Well, now just a brief 63 years later, it's like, Jesus, 63 years later.
You were like, this is great. This program's really good. My entire life, this is going to be like this. 63 years, still waiting.
Still waiting it out. still just waiting for those Vikings also. Same period of time, 62 years, I guess that'd be. Yeah, why don't we win? What do you say?
They got Josh Dobbs excitement. Josh Dobbs mania continues.
He looks good. Got to be honest with you. I enjoy watching him. I really do.
I want to throw a question out to both of you guys because we had listener Rolf write in. He was watching, paying attention to the MLB awards here recently the other day, and he was the Rookie of the Year awards got him thinking if either of you could name the last time the Minnesota Twins hailed the Rookie of the Year award. If they produced a Rookie of the Year, can you think of the last time they did?
I assume it was Kirby Puckett.
No. Cordova was, believe it or not.
Mm-hmm.
I think Knobloch was in 91.
Yeah,
Chuck Knobloch.
It was Marty Cordova. 95 was the most recent.
Okay, was it really?
Kirby Puckett not even on the list. They've had five in their history.
He wasn't Rookie of the Year.
No, so Judd was spot on with Cordova and Knobloch. In 79, they had John Castino.
Johnny, my buddy Johnny.
He tied for it.
Yeah, he did.
67 was Rod Carew.
Yep.
And 64 was Tony Oliva.
Oh, God, I love Tony Oliva. What a great guy.
Still going strong. God bless him.
It's awesome. He is. Absolutely.
He absolutely is. But one of my favorite stories that Bob Sansevier tells is they were in Cuba to play an exhibition game in Cuba. And Bob said, Tom, next time to go to Cuba, you have to go because you should see how excited Tony Oliva gets when they start the dog fights.
Oh, no, really?
Oh, no.
I thought that was great. I guess he's like, yes. Like, okay. I guess dog fights are a big thing in Cuba. I don't know.
I didn't know Bob went.
Yeah,
Bob, great story.
Yes, he did. There's no doubt.
That's a great story. And you're friends with Castino, right, Tom?
I've known Johnny forever. Yeah, his wife and my wife, his first wife, and my wife are very good friends. Got a great kid. Yeah, Johnny and I became really, really good friends. I haven't seen Johnny in a long time now because he lives in just outside Orlando now, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But Johnny and I used to play a lot of golf together, which was a great experience for me because he was only about 15, 20 times better than me. But
that's so depressing. Playing with somebody better.
Pro athletes, man. If you choose to play sports like golf or something, you're gonna get they're unbelievable.
Yes, they are at everything.
That's the problem.
That's
the problem.
Therein lies the problem. They're good at everything. Damn it. No, I was very, very lucky in that I got, Gary Gaetti and I got to be very close friends. And obviously Ken Herbeck and I are good friends. I felt very, very lucky about that because I have been a Twins fan since I was 8 years old,
mm-hmm.
And I've always loved the Twins. So to become good friends with so many of the players on the team. Now I could go down the other list of people that were on the Twins who hate my guts. So there's a nice balance.
So I'm sure you caused a lot of division in the locker room at points. Like, you hear you called me a sugar tit, and they're like, "Hey, that's my friend." Calm down.
Who hated you the most? Do you think?
Al Newman.
Al Newman.
Tom Bernansky still to this day hates my guts. And just because I called him an overrated piece of shit. I mean, why would you hate me for that?
What'd you say about Al? That's what I want to know.
I don't know. Al was very mediocre. He's probably listening right now. Hi, Al. How you doing? Good to see you.
He's a utility player. He was a utility player. He was what he was. But
let me put it this way: the last time I saw Al in person, I walked out on the field because I used to go out on the field to watch the Twins. I'd walk out there and talk to the guys and all that stuff. And all of a sudden, Al comes over and pins me against the fence, and I'm like a foot taller than he is.
Yeah.
And he was like barking at me. I'm like, "What are you doing? What the hell's wrong with you? Calm down." But I'm sure he's over it by now. Otherwise, he'll be here by about 9:15.
So you need an escort to leave the building today?
No, I got a gun.
There's too much hate here, but I do have a gun.
There's too much hate.
Why is there so much hate in the world, boy?
But no, I'm nowhere near as bad as the Timberwolves. Oh my God, the Timberwolves! Those guys hate everybody.
They hate the old Timberwolves, or because right now I feel like they don't hate everybody.
It's a different team.
They're getting love because Anthony Edwards. We're about to got second game of the in-season tournament today. We're taking down the Warriors. We're going to win the in-season tournament. calling it right now.
No, I like it.
Hottest team in basketball. What do you think, Judd?
You getting a tattoo if they do?
He should get a tattoo.
Only if it's a low.
That would be Age. That's a great idea. I like that. Hold Tevin to it.
Yes. Force his hand.
In-season tournament
champion. And there's no name for it. So you would have to get tattooed in-season tournament champion on your body somewhere.
Better yet, be the person that gets it before the game is played.
Oh,
Like really double down. And then they lose and you have that on your body. Oh, God. Perfect.
Have to cross it out.
Yeah. Just kidding.
Runner-ups.
Yep. Yeah, it all works out in the end. Not a problem. But no, in general, I got along really, really well. Dan Gladden's not a big fan of mine either. But it never came to anything. He just does not like me.
You know what, though? That's Gladdy. He's Mr. Bluster.
He is.
He's full of bluster. He probably respected you because you didn't back down. Yeah. But he always acts tough. But he's actually a good guy.
That's what everybody tells me. Yeah.
I'm surprised on Al. But you know what? I don't think people get this too. There was certainly a time period, and you can attest to this, when you guys were doing the KQ show, that especially with you and Mark, that anything that you said sports wise was a big deal because it was the show in town for like sports. Yeah, like everybody listened to. So like if you ripped a player or something, I'm sure they took it personally. I don't think the players have any idea what is said locally.
No.
If you went on an ESPN show and criticized them, they would know instantaneously.
Yes. Yeah.
But in 1989, 90 or so, it was a different ball game, and that's before K-Fan. So if you guys ripped a player, I'm sure it got back to them.
Oh, there's no question about that. Oh yeah, there's no doubt about that. I think K-Fan was around, but it was an AM station. It didn't have any ratings or anything.
It was WDGY in 1990, baby.
Oh, was it still WDGY then?
It was Ouija back in 1990. You remember that? Spinning the hits?
Why don't you mention a few more places I've been fired from? Thank you. I really appreciate it.
I didn't know you were a DGY guy.
6 to 10. Johnny Canton. Dale Weber was the general manager. The greatest part of that job, and I'll tell you this very quickly, I lived in North Minneapolis, and WDGY used to be at 106th and 35W. Way down by the river. So I would drive to work. So I drive in one day to pick up my paycheck or some damn thing. And I sit down and I talk to Dale and I talk to Johnny Canton. Both gone now, unfortunately. Both passed on since then. Sorry to say. But I talked to him for about 10 minutes. I drove back to North Minneapolis. Took about 25 minutes, something like that. As I'm walking in the front door, the phone's ringing. It was back to the old corded phones, that whole deal.
Oh, yeah.
I pick up the phone, and Johnny said, Tom, we got to let you go. I said, I just saw you 25 minutes ago, face to face. Why didn't you tell me then? He goes, yeah, I ain't doing that. So he called and fired me after I left. But that one was kind of cool, actually. That's great. Johnny.
I ain't doing that. I love the honesty.
No, that's just how it is. It's just the way it is. Oh, yeah. I kind of have a reputation for that. Yeah, why don't you blow it out your ass? I'll wait here.
Young Tommy B would not have taken that well, huh?
Oh, Jesus. I must have been I almost said something that was going to come back to haunt me. No, I'll say it. I must have been a massive pain in the ass. What do you think?
Well, no objections.
No. I'm going to defend you. I can't see that.
What do you mean must have been?
What do you mean? What about now? It's all true.
A radio guy being a pain in the ass? That never happens. What are you talking about? A media personality?
No, you're right. Oh my God, it's 8:30. You got to go.
All right.
You're a busy
It's been fun. It's been fun, you guys. I will talk to you tomorrow.
We will look forward to talking to you tomorrow too, Palomino.
All right. See ya. Bye.
Judd, Score North, Purple Daily, all kinds of good stuff. We'll take a break. Be right back in a couple of minutes, ladies and gentlemen. Tom here, and I just read a success story from MN fat loss client Elizabeth, who just completed the program. Congratulations, Elizabeth. Elizabeth writes, I'm a 54-year-old woman who has struggled with losing weight. I had almost constant heartburn, trouble sleeping, and, brain fog, that whole deal. I tried countless calories, eating bars and shakes, and several other programs in which I would lose 5 to 10 pounds. After months of struggling, I wanted to gain it right back. After 60 days of the MN Fat Loss Program, I was down 25 pounds. MN Fat Loss had really empowered me to believe that I can control my eating and my weight without having to sacrifice foods that I like. Let me assure you that the short 60 days is indeed totally worth it. If you're thinking about finally committing to improving your health, this is the time to start. You won't regret your investment in yourself, I'll tell you that. Well, great job, Elizabeth. I am so happy to hear about your success. Are you ready to lose weight and feel better? Go to mnfatloss.com. Schedule a free phone consultation. It's so easy to see if MN Fat Loss is a good fit for you. They offer a free phone consultation to learn about the program. You don't have to take time off work or get a babysitter for the kids. It's as easy as getting on a quick call with the expert staff. You can share your goals, learn about the program, and see if it is a good fit to help you lose weight and feel better. They also have virtual options to help you if you live far away. That makes total sense. To schedule that free phone consultation, go to MN Fat Loss. The only thing you have to lose is that unwanted weight. That is www.mnfatloss.com, and I cannot wait to hear about your success story.
This is the Tom Barnard Show.
Hello, I'm Brad Huckle, President and Chief Lending Officer at North American Banking Company.
And I'm Michael Bilski, CEO at North American Banking Company.
As a locally owned and operated community bank, we work with many multi-generational businesses.
Take Personal Care Dentistry of Roseville, for example. Dr. Walter Hunt, also known as Painless to me, has been a longtime customer of the bank since we opened the bank in 1998.
When his son Kyle was ready to join the practice, they wanted to expand quickly.
With their additional space and equipment, they now are able to see more patients each day while providing the same level of care and service.
Okay, guys, I'll take it from here. If you run a family business or any kind of business for that matter, you should be banking with Brad and Mike over at North American Banking Company. Every time I deal with them or their team, I know I'm working with experienced professional bankers. So why not bank with my banker? North American Banking Company, a better banking experience, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
The new Tom Barnard Show is proud to have partners like Bradshaw and Bryant, MyPillow, and North American Banking Company founder, chairman, and president, Mike Bilski.
I've advertised on Tom's show for years, and the reason is simple. My business is recognized because of the ads, and that recognition has created growth. What business doesn't want to grow? I highly recommend the Tom Barnard Morning Show for your advertising.
Grow results for your business by partnering with the Tom Barnard Show. Visit tombarnardshow.com, keyword partner.
Ooh, look at the timing.
I mean, you're a pro's pro. I don't know why that other guy would have ever let you go.
That other guy? And then called me after I'd driven for a half hour. Tom, you're gone. Okay. You need to know a guy for your auto repairs, legal issues, banking, and more. The same goes for investment advice. You need a guy to help you be successful, someone you can trust who gets results. Well, I got a guy for you, Josh Arnold. Matter of fact, we're having dinner with Josh tonight. Looking forward to it. Josh gives you straight talk, not sugar-coated advice about your financial situation. Josh has seen it all when it comes to economic and market conditions, and Josh can make sure that your retirement objectives match your investments. Do yourself a favor and call Josh now for a no-obligation 48-minute evaluation. You got nothing to lose, and you'll get a different point of view for your investments. Call Josh at 952-925-5608. That is 952-925-5608. You will be glad you did. Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant, LLC, a security and investment advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments involve risk, of course. All comments and opinions are Josh Arnold's and do not constitute investment advice. I'm Tom Barnard, and I am a paid endorser. We are back, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, thanks for dressing up to come to the show there. You and Tevin got the T-shirts going today. That's good.
You can never win, Chris.
Nobody. No, AJ and I look professional. He's got his Wild jersey on.
Yeah.
All right.
It's a sweater. It's a sweater, Tom.
Oh, I thought it was a T-shirt. It looked like a T-shirt around
tomorrow. I'll wear like a sport coat or something.
5-piece suit or nothing.
Yeah.
Clean it up, Kevin.
Exactly. Are there any huge, massive stories we should know about, or can I just go off the deep end on somebody?
Feel free to go off the deep end, and then I can tell you what's happening in the news.
I don't think you'll want me to go off the deep end because I'd have to rip another news station in town for what they did to my brother.
I'm always here for a good story. I may not have anything I can say.
Very quickly. And I just, like I said, it's one of those situations where I don't know what the hell I ever did to TV news people, but they love to take shots. Even when I came here, a guy on Channel 5 said, and some say he's a racist. It's like, oh, God. Was that you, Tevin?
I mean, I wrote the copy for it, but I didn't actually go on the camera and say it.
But anyway, I don't know what the hell I ever did to these people. Maybe I have opinions and don't like that. But very quickly, I have an older brother named Terry. I have not seen Terry in 20 years. Terry served during the Vietnam conflict. Matter of fact, it was extended, so he was there for 4.5 years. Not there, I mean in the Marine Corps for all that time. And they had him. I have not talked to him or seen him in 20 years because there was this big deal with his ex-wife that she didn't like us. And, it was one of those deals.
Yep.
And so Terry wanted to reach out and apologize after all these years and say, man, I should have never done that. I shouldn't have turned my back on you guys just because my haggardly wife wanted me to. He didn't say haggardly. I just made that up. But in any case, and by the way, I am not upset for me. I'm upset for what they did to him. Because he's been thinking about it a lot, I guess, lately, that he should reach out to us and, get back together. He's 81 years old now, so might be the time. He's in a wheelchair. He's got the hoses up his nose and the whole deal. And so they came over and interviewed him on Veterans Day. Because like I said, he was in the United States Marine Corps, all those Vietnam. Matter of fact, I think it was in Memphis, too. There was a big riot in Memphis after MLK was murdered. And he was there for that. I mean, saw a lot of problems, no question about it.
Yeah.
So they interviewed him, and my brother Tony sent me the interview because I didn't know they did it. This is Channel 9, I guess is what it was. But so they did the interview, and I watched there 3 segments, and he talks about how emotional he gets when they play the Star Spangled Banner, and it was a very nice situation. But I found out later they cut a piece off. And again, I don't care that they did, but it bothers him because I did end up calling him last night because I heard he was upset about this. First time I've talked to him in 20 years, right? So they went to him 3 different times, and one was about, he was how proud he was to be there, and then how much he loved the Star Spangled Banner, and it was a very, very nice thing. And like I said, he's not in the best health, right? Well, there was one part of the interview they deleted because he was trying to reach out with the olive branch, right? After 20 years of no contact. At the very end, apparently, he said, I would like to say hello to my little brother, Tommy. And they cut it out of the interview because they found out it was me he was talking about. Isn't that unbelievable? Now, look, I don't care you're in 10th place or some shit anyway, so I don't care, what you do or what you say. But don't do that to my brother. The guy's trying to reach out at the end of his life. Well, not the end of his life, but toward the end of his life and make contact with his family because he hadn't talked to anybody. My brother Terry and my sister Bobby have not talked to us in 20 years. Once again, and I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it, we had a very tumultuous, very difficult childhood, extremely poor. My father was institutionalized for mental illness, ended up dying very young. It was not a great childhood. It just wasn't. And I know what's funny about that? White people have a very hard time believing that any other white people ever had a hard childhood. They don't believe it. No, what do you mean? You're white. You had it made. You went to Woolworths, didn't you? Like, no, I did not. But I am upset for Terry.
Yeah.
Because if I hadn't called him, my brother Tony said, why don't you call Terry because he was reaching out to you? I said, I didn't know he was reaching out to me. So I watched the thing and said, he didn't reach out to me on there. He said, yeah, he did actually. At the very end, he said, I want to say hello to my little, he called me his little brother, my little brother, Tommy. And I was just thinking, just because you don't like me, and I don't give a rat's ass if you like me or not, you're in the news business, you work at whatever you work with, why don't, this man is not feeling well. After 20 years, he reaches out to his family and you piss all over it just because you don't like me. Why would you do that?
I'm wondering, well, it could go 2 ways, right? Like there could have been the thought of, well, this is supposed to be about Veterans Day. If we open up that can of worms, then we're taking the focus off Veterans Day, even though that's what your brother wanted to talk about.
Yeah, it was at the very end too. It was going to take like 2 seconds.
But then if it was thrown out there, I mean, I can hear a producer going, well, then now what do we have to follow up with that? And Or it could have just been like somebody going, "Oh, Tom Barnard, nope."
Oh, that's exactly
that's what I don't, that's what I don't know.
I heard from
that decision was made.
I still like one person that works there. I don't know a lot of them. It might be some nice people and all the rest of it, but the ones I know I can't stand. But there's one guy, or I shouldn't say guy. There's one person that said, yeah, they just did it because the news director does not like me at all. Because I took a shot at her husband once as a joke, and as you know, most news directors, she has no sense of humor whatsoever. It's one of those deals. Look at you grimacing now. No, I like after 20 years at the end of his life, he wants to make contact with his family. Why did you do that?
If that's what the case is, then that is a whole different, and
this woman has never liked me, and she's always been a pain in the ass. Matter of fact, she didn't know who I was. I was at Ron Rosenbaum's funeral, and she walked up to me and stuck her hand out, and I shook her hand, and she introduced herself, and I introduced myself. It was like I stabbed her. Holding on to her hand, being Tom Barnard, she didn't like that at all. Why do you think it is that TV people are so touchy?
Well, I will not speak for all TV people. I do think there are some people in this industry who are very touchy.
Oh my God.
I don't get it. I don't get it.
But I just, like I said, it's just a situation where you've made it very clear, a lot of people in the industry, radio, TV, newspaper people don't like me. I don't give a shit if you like me or not. First of all, like I said, you're like a 10th place outfit anyway, so nobody knows what the hell you're doing. But it just would have been nice for you to think, would this be good for Terrence Barnard because he's not going to live much longer?
Yeah, you wonder if, for sure, from his perspective, that was a big thing for him to say that.
Now, my brother Tony, as I said, called me and talked to me about that. So I did call my brother for the first time in 20 years.
Which is good.
It was very, very touching to talk to him because he was very sorry that he had done the things that he did. And, but it would have been a nice little slide in if I would have seen that on television. Going, oh my God, that he really laid it out there. So, but it did work out in the end, thanks to my brother Tony, because Tony set the whole thing up. But I just don't understand why my brother Terry's got nothing to do with the KQ morning show or this show. Why do you got to do that? It just makes no sense to me why people do things like that.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Whatever. I just thought I'd ruin your day.
No, you didn't ruin it. I'm glad at the end of the day you guys were able to connect, because I think family things like that can get really weird, and
it's tough, man.
There can be a lot of pride involved and a lot of really hard feelings. And I've seen plenty of family get into these kinds of things where, then the person passes away and you're like, you live with that guilt the rest of your life that you didn't God, why didn't I make more of an effort to try to get this worked out? Like, it didn't need to be like this. So I'm glad from that aspect.
Well, I just remember what I think I said about her husband. I think I said he looked like Captain Kangaroo. That's not even an insult.
Like with the blue suit?
No, the white hair and I don't know, whatever. That guy's never cared for me. There are a lot of people in your industry not big fans of mine. I know that. Just the way it is.
You're a big deal, man. People don't like. People are intimidated.
What are you laughing about over there?
I had no idea who Captain Kangaroo was, so I did a quick Google search. Of course this guy doesn't like you.
Why not?
It's Captain Kangaroo.
Captain Kangaroo is a legendary. He's a legend in the business.
Does he wear a blue suit, Tevin? Because I thought of it, I thought of him wearing
a red suit.
Oh yeah.
And a very boxy, shabby white blonde hair.
What? I thought he struck a fine figure.
Of course, if you told Chris Egert that he looked like Captain Kangaroo, you would never see Chris Egert again.
I would think it's funny because I have a sense of humor, but
it's not a great look.
See, that's the whole thing, and I'm not going to get real political about this because my mother was a big time Democrat. She loved being a Democrat. Most of my friends, I would say 85% of my friends are Democrats.
Yep.
Some of them pretty severe, big time Democrats, right? So that's not even the issue. It's the people who take that another step and think they need to harm somebody to make their point. That's the part of both the far right and the far left that I cannot stand, that you think you have to harm somebody in order to make a point. Yeah. I don't think they set those parties up for you to act like such an asshole.
No, it's definitely the tone is, the temperature is so hot right now.
It's terrible right now.
I agree.
Just so then whatever. Like I said, that stuff, I'm so used to it after being in this business for 53 years. It doesn't bother me, but it did bother me that they did that to my brother. I don't like the fact they did that to him. And I haven't even seen him in 20 years. So
that's understandable.
I'm going to go see him this weekend, though.
Good.
Apparently my sister's giving him a TV or something. It just, maybe that if I ever write a book, it would be not about my career, it'd be about my family, because it was a very, very, very unusual situation.
Well, make sure when you're setting up that TV for him, you make sure that channel 5's locked in and channel 9 is blocked.
You got it. You're right. Because I'm sure they'd welcome me with open arms. Well, the morning guy at My Talk works over at 9, doesn't he?
Yeah. Jason.
Guy. Yeah, Jason's a good guy. I don't know him personally all that well. I've talked to him on the phone a couple times, but he seems like a very nice guy.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know anything about what goes on over there.
Chris
I barely know what's going on here.
I was gonna say, you didn't even know Hannah was gone yesterday. I showed up and found out like everybody else.
Yeah, right. Love Hannah. So yeah, thanks for your time there. But I mean, you guys do understand my point. It's like,
for sure.
All those years, he made an effort to say, "I'm sorry, I shouldn't have treated you that way," to all my brothers and sisters. But they just wouldn't let that happen. But luckily, my brother Tony put the things together and got me in touch with Terry, because I didn't know any of the stuff was even going on until I watched the thing. One thing, you have like a big story. The only thing that was a little unsettling is to hear my brother's voice, because I haven't talked to him in 20 years, right?
Oh, sure. Let
me play you his voice, because this doesn't take long at all, but this will show you how sick my brother Terry is. Okay. So he's at this big gathering at the Mall of America, that says here, Veterans Day.
Yep.
Listen to his voice. Wait a minute, let me get the commercial out of there.
No free ads. No free ads.
Right. This will take about 20 seconds. But you can hear in his voice that they might be ringing down the curtain any minute. Oh, okay, here we go.
Tonight at 5, our veterans are being recognized all around the country, including here in Minnesota. The Mall of America hosting a special ceremony that included the Minnesota National Guard's 34th Infantry Division Red Bull Band. Fox 9's Babs Santos is live with more on the special day.
Get to the point. Let's go.
Yeah, Karen, that event ended just earlier this afternoon. It was just one of many happening all around the metro.
Next voice here would be my brother. Nice event.
Dozens gathered at the Mall of America on Saturday to honor all who've worn a uniform and served in the United States.
Oh, there he is.
The mall's rotunda was the place to be for speeches and performances this Veterans Day, celebrating generations of sacrifice to protect our homeland.
Freedom is not free. It takes a great sacrifice.
The crowd thanked those.
That was him?
That was my brother. And I mean, to see his picture and hear him talking like that was very unsettling. But I am going to get together with him this week. But yeah, I mean, hear him talking like that's not how he used to talk. Yeah. I'm just here to tell you.
Definitely not a lot of timber left in the voice there. That's for sure.
Not a lot. But so I just wanted you to know. Well, I beg people, just because you don't like somebody, like, Chris, you have an older or younger brother?
Sister.
Sister. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I don't like you, but I'd call your sister.
Yeah, right. Fair, right?
You know what I'm saying?
Fair.
We have got to stop with this extreme political bullshit, because you are acting like such assholes. It's unbelievable.
You're not wrong.
And like I said, nice ratings. Anyway, going forward.
I got a bull.
No.
Yep, I'm late.
Well, you're late. Oh, I'm sorry.
That's fine.
Sorry, Buster.
I'm sorry about the situation with your brother, but
I wanted to bring it up to you because you've been in the new business for a long time.
For sure.
You guys would never do something like that.
There's more. We should probably talk off there's probably more to it. But
well, good.
Maybe this isn't the platform for it.
Why do you want to drop the F-bomb?
I don't want to get in trouble. So.
Okay, goodbye. See you later.
Thanks, Chris.
News brought to you by Mr. Money Talk, Josh Arnold. Call Josh for your free 48-minute financial evaluation. Yeah, I mean, hearing your brother's voice after all those years, 20 years, when he started talking, I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, I can't imagine like the emotions. Just,
I'm still very emotional.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you don't hear from him for that long. And then like, you have this picture in your head and this like memory of the last time you did interact with him. And now it's just, and he's not obviously a completely different person, but it's not unrecognizable, but you're like, it's not maybe what you had envisioned or something like that.
Oh, so, actually, when he first started, I had no idea it was him.
Oh, really?
I had no clue.
Then even more to my point, like it's a guy that you didn't even recognize right away.
So yeah, and once again, like I said, the only reason I'm upset for Kerry because he tried to make an effort to say I'm sorry to the whole family, all the rest of it, but they don't consider that part of it, which I don't really understand. I mean, God bless you. You live your life, and I'll live mine, and whatever. But again, let me remind you, news brought to you by Mr. Money Talk, Josh Arnold. Call Josh for your free 48-minute financial evaluation. But yeah, look, like I said, I was talking to Jeff Paso last night, who was at Channel 9 for a long time. And he was just terrific about it. Jeff is a great guy. You guys know Jeff Passolt at all?
Yeah, I've met and talked to him a few times.
Just a great guy. So sorry to go on and on about that, but it's such a thing. And maybe it'd be a little supportive for very, very poor people who are not treated like everybody else. Because that's the one thing that nobody ever makes that point. If you're destitute, you're very poor, you are not going to be treated well by anybody.
No.
So you go, and it's not, oh, poor me. I'm talking about all poor people here. You need to understand this is not a skin color deal. It's a poor people deal. Now, a lot of Black people were poor because of their skin color. But as, Tevin and I were talking early this morning, I hate you because you're Black, and I love you because you're Black makes the same difference.
Right.
You're still being a racist asshole.
Yeah, the look of pity or getting something we feel bad for you. It was my least favorite emotion. I remember the first time realizing like people felt bad for me, and I was like, I never want to feel this way again.
Exactly,
like, this feels worse than you like not liking me at all. Yeah,
but see, I'm lucky in the fact that I grew up in a neighborhood where I saw that coming. I saw that coming 50 years, 65 years ago. I said, don't be sucking up to somebody because of their skin color or treating them horribly because of their skin color. And that, by the way, in this day and age goes for white people too. Not all white men are assholes. I know that's what it looks like on the news, that if you're a white man, you're a horrible person. That's not true. Sorry. And it never has been for any skin color. So the news needs to do a better job and keep your bullshit politics out of it. Right?
Yep.
That's all I'm saying. Is that fair?
I think so.
I will take a break here, or I said we will take a break here, right?
Right.
So did I take up too much time with all that?
No, I mean, I think Chris isn't a pushover where he's going to sit here and let you like ruin a broadcast or anything. If he's got to go, he's going to say, "Hey, Tom, I got to go."
No.
So I think he stuck around long enough to where.
Oh, there's no question. Chris has always been great to me.
Yeah,
he's been wonderful.
I don't think anybody went over on time.
Good. Thank you. I'm so happy to welcome back our longtime friend, Sabre Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning to the show. I've known Steve, the owner, for many years, and I completely trust Sabre to keep my house comfortable. Why? Sabre does everything the right way, and they always put the customer first. I love the team at Sabre because their service experts are experienced NATE certified technicians. They're not salespeople. Their pricing is completely upfront, and they fix only what needs to be fixed, nothing more. Sabre is dedicated to giving customers what they need when they need it and at the fair price. Keeping your family safe and comfortable without breaking the bank. Give Sabre Heating and Air Conditioning a try. I know they'll take care of you just like they've taken care of me and my family. Whether you need a new Bryant furnace or air conditioner replaced or just simply need a service call to get you going again, go to saberheating.com. That's SABRE heating.com. Sabre and Bryant, whatever it takes.
This is the Tom Barnard Show. Listen live on the Tom Barnard Show app or at tombarnardshow.com.
In a world that's racing a mile a minute, a split-second distraction can change everything. I'm Mike Bryant from Bradshaw & Bryant. Every day we see too many people, heads buried in their phones, unaware of the dangers they're in. Texting and driving isn't just reckless, it's playing Russian roulette with your life and the lives of others. In just 4 seconds of distraction, you've driven the length of a football field. Is there any text message that's worth your life, that's worth the lives of others? I've been fighting for the rights of the injured for over 30 years, but I'd rather you never meet me in a courtroom. So hear me now. Stop texting and driving. Pay attention. Value your lives and the lives around you. And if you won't, know this. At Bradshaw and Bryant, we're relentless. We won't back down. We bring justice to those that need it.
Find Bradshaw and Bryant, personal injury attorneys at minnesotapersonalinjury.com.
With Mike Bryant on your side, seeking justice for the injured. Bradshaw and Bryant.
We're up already. Man, I like it. You all have helped support MyPillow and their employees in these tough economic times. Mike Lindell knows this and continues to give back to listeners with deals on his most popular products. You've heard me recently speak about the My Slippers, the Giza Sheets, MyPillow 2.0, and more. Great news, the MyPillow 6-pack bath towel sets are back in stock. The proprietary technology makes them extremely absorbent, yet still provides that soft feel you look for in a towel. The set comes with 2 bath towels, 2 hand towels, and 2 washcloths. Regular price is $79.98, and for a limited time, you can get the 6-pack towel set for only $39.99 with promo code TOM. That is a 50% savings. So go to MyPillow.com, use promo code TOM to save 50% on the MyPillow 6-pack towel sets. That is just $39.99 for a set. This deal will not last long. Enter promo code TOM for this special and many more.
That was weird.
Because instead of saying, it sounded like it's Tom Barnard shit. Show, that's the word. No question about it. So in any case, moving along, what else?
I mean, there's not a lot going on. I feel like we got some good news stories in there.
You got some great news stories in there. There's no question about it.
Let's see. Oh, yeah, we talked about the SEAL thing, but yeah, there's a lot, even non-war related. Like there's that volcano in Iceland that's about to erupt potentially.
Doesn't that happen all the time? Because in Egert, which is, by the way, I guess how you pronounce that. Did you know that?
What?
I have no idea.
I don't even know what. Yeah,
it was a volcano about 5, 6, 7 years ago.
But is that a word? Like
that's the name of the volcano?
It's the name of the volcano.
Okay. All right.
And it literally is pronounced Egert. You have to do that.
Sounds like after you're done talking on a walkie-talkie and it makes that
exactly.
Over.
That's exactly right. So, in any case, there's going to be another volcano in Iceland.
Yeah, it sounds like it's getting pretty. They're in a state of an emergency for a town that's got about 3,000 residents, and they're all supposedly evacuating right now. And there's like giant cracks down the middle of the street from plate movement, and so it looks like it's starting to get a little dire out there.
Boy, that hour went by quickly, didn't it? Holy Christ,
that flew by.
Unbelievable. In any case, you do have some great news stories on here. As a matter of fact, we had talked about that. Well, we did bring up, and I'll re-reference it just because we never did finish the story, actually. A guy wearing a KKK shirt working at a restaurant or something, wasn't it?
Grocery store. He was
a grocery store.
There, he was a checkout person.
She adds that employees do have a right to intervene. This is a woman talking about Carlson is her name. The KKK is a hate group, and so this messaging is very much hate speech, but it is allowed under the First Amendment. But she adds that employers do have a right to intervene. If the employer wanted to tell the employee not to wear that, again, to wear a particular uniform, not to engage in potentially open carry, right, they would be well within their rights to do that, said Carlson. I would definitely be asking the employer, why is it they're allowing this person? They spelled their THRER. That's why I stumbled over. I was like, what?
Yeah, people don't proofread.
No, I guess they don't. Yeah,
they're right.
They come to work and potentially offend or upset customers with this attire. So they spoke to, it's called the Family Grocer too. So that helps. The Family Grocer for the KKK. They spoke with the manager at Family Grocer who told us repeatedly no comment. They did add that they do not condone their employees' actions. But I still don't understand, why would you come to work at the Family Grocer wearing a KKK t-shirt?
Yeah, not bright. And I'm sure because you do get obviously freedom of speech, wear whatever you want, but at the end of the day, it's like the NFL when they have conduct detrimental towards the league. Like if you show up in your KKK shirt and people stop coming to the store, now you cost your employer money, you're probably not going to be employed very long.
That's like what if you showed up like in an ISIS shirt, Like,
yeah,
it's kind of the same thing, is it not? Just because one is based here and the other one is like, I'm pretty sure we both know they're essentially like KKK are they technically considered a terrorist group?
I think so.
I think so. Like they've done enough attacks. I think they've earned that status. So I don't know. It's I get the freedom of speech thing, but like, that's for like legalized marijuana, like back when that wasn't like wearing a shirt this is a terrorist group.
Yeah, they don't have a great track record throughout the history of the country.
No.
What does it mean by the Ku Klux Klan? What does that mean?
I have no idea.
I have no. Is that like Latin or something? Like,
I don't know. I had heard when I was a little boy, but I don't know if it's true or not, that Klan is because they're a group like a clan.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But the Ku Klux is them jacking the rifle to make sure it's loaded. So they go Ku Klux like that. I guess that's I was told as a little boy.
Sound.
Yeah, kind of like Ku Klux.
I don't know enough to counteract that, so I'll believe it.
I don't know. It wasn't my idea. I was just told that when I was.
I'll take it and run with it. That's fine with me.
I am not claiming responsibility for coming up with that idea.
I didn't make up the KKK part. Got to be honest with you, it wasn't me. But yeah, I just I've never been one of those kind of group guys. Are there even things like that? Like when you went to high school, were there a couple of different groups of boys with their, not really gangs, but they were kind of gangs? Did you have those at your high school?
No, you would get groups of people that were similar, tended to hang out. Like, okay, here's the group of kids that they enjoy hunting and wearing camouflage and going out in the woods group. And here's the athletes. But yeah, there was no gangs or anything like that.
I don't know if this was a gang or not, but there were two different groups when I went to North High School. There were the Primas. And if you were chosen to be a prima, like number one, get it? So there were primas, and then the other one was called the Malos.
I was hoping you were going to say the Donnas, the prima and the
Donnas.
Prima
and the Donnas. That'd be the women's group, the primas and the Donnas. No, they were the Malos, the bad ones. Get it?
All right.
Malo? Come on. But I don't remember there ever being any violent conflicts or anything like that. Maybe there were, but I didn't ever see any of them. But yeah, that doesn't really happen anymore, does it?
No. And I always think the kind of gang, well, you hurt us, so we're going to go hurt you, or I got to go now kill your sister because you killed. Like, I never got into I hate you because my friend over here hates you. So I would be a terrible gang person. Like, can't we just talk this out? Because we're going to go kill that person and they're going to come kill one of us. And I'm really just tired of this.
That's like a weird fun fact. Would be a terrible gang member.
Oh, yeah. Like, don't come over here and tell me that we hate Charlie now because he did something mean to somebody over
here. To be honest, I wouldn't be a good gang member either. I wouldn't be good at gangs at all.
And because I know people that were in some like very big prominent gangs here in the cities, and they talked about getting jumped in where essentially 4 of your friends beat you up, and then now you're in our group. Like, I don't want that.
That's the thing that throws me off the most. I don't understand. How is that going to happen? And then it's like, now I'll take a bullet for you. Like, you just beat the piss out of me. How am I?
No, isn't there some membership fee I can pay? Can
I just take a test?
Right. I don't want to do that.
It's all true, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. So there are there still groups like that?
Yeah, there's on 36th, like 30th Street in Chicago, and like south of there is all the Rolling 30s, which I believe are like Bloods. North St. Paul, I think is Crips North. I don't know, but there's definitely prominent gangs, and it gets distinguished because they always will go, well, there's like the younger kids, which are more of like the gangbangers where you see doing like random crimes and stuff like that. And then as they get older, it's more organized type situations. But yeah, they're still around and prominent.
I know there's a list of like baseball caps you shouldn't wear if you're like going out to LA to like tour. I'll like, if you wear like a Dodgers cap, that's based on like the blue or like the color of it. Yeah, it's like there's a certain affiliation with it. Like, for instance, I'm trying to find the Twins hat here because I know I've seen them on this list. The Twins hat is associated for whatever reason with the Rolling 30s Crips if you're out in LA. So you better represent.
Oh, because of TC.
Yeah.
30s Crips. Yep.
But also, they're not going out there and beating up everybody that's wearing a Twins hat.
No.
Like they understand, oh, you with your daughter in a stroller, we're guessing you're not a part of the rolling 30s Crips.
Right.
That's, so they're organized enough where they can tell who is who.
If you see me walking around with my souvenir cup wearing I Heart LA shirt on, I'm probably no threat. Yeah.
So those groups do still exist then.
Yeah, it's not the same. It's kind of like how the mob still exists today in some capacity, where it's not like the old days, but it's more sophisticated, and a lot of stuff moves to online drug sales and stuff.
I suppose.
It's more sophisticated.
Were the gangs put together for drug sales? Is that why they came together as a gang, or was it actually to protect territory?
So I believe it started out territory, and then drugs was the easiest way to make absorbent, like excessive amounts of money.
I suppose that makes sense. I never had any interest in being in any of those groups.
No, but I'll say this: during the pandemic, have you watched Power?
What's Power? That sounds familiar.
It's like Taraji
is on Stars.
It's on Stars. It's like essentially about a big drug lord family. It's super. I think you would like it. You would like that kind of stuff.
Is that the Book of Ghost? Is that the same thing?
Yeah, so that's like the follow-up.
Gotcha, okay.
But the first one, Power, who's the main? Why can't I think the main
guy
in it? But anyway, super, super popular. And watching that over the pandemic, I was thinking of ways, how could I, if I needed to move some weight, could I be a drug kingpin?
Yeah.
And so I would attempt to pull it off. I think if I was back against the wall, had no other options, I think I could pull it off.
What's the guy in Harlem? Frankie
Muniz?
Yes, Frankie Muniz. That's exactly who it was. There's no Frankie Vassalero. That was his name. It was unbelievable.
Oh, Omari Hardwick. That's what I was thinking.
Omari Hardwick. Yeah, I remember that name.
50 Cent's in there too.
Yeah, Joseph Sikora.
All right.
Yeah.
All the good stuff.
Yep. Yeah, you'd like.
What the hell was his name? The guy that ran the drug deals up in Harlem, but I can't remember his name anymore. Frank something. In any case, I'm kind of glad that we don't shoot each other in the street.
You talking about Frank Lucas?
Yeah, Frank Lucas.
Yeah.
There you go. Exactly.
Because that was the Denzel Washington movie.
Yeah, it's a true story.
That he portrayed that guy.
Which one? Is that American Gangster?
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, okay. All right.
No, really good movie. Well, Denzel Washington doesn't do a lot of bad movies.
He might be the best actor of my generation.
Well, he's one of them. If he's not the best, he's one of them. He's really good.
And from every interview that I've seen of him, he seems like a nice guy off camera.
That's what I've heard. I've never met him or talked to him, but I heard he's a really nice guy.
I love the clip of he's talking to Jamie Foxx, and Jamie Foxx is like talking about how he's got like his certain mannerisms and stuff like that. And the one that him and his buddies would do is he's got this classic like get your hands off me, and so he does it for him, and it's perfect because Denzel starts cracking up just like a little kid, and it's amazing.
That whole Grey Goose. Because it was coming, I think it was Equalizer 3 or 2 promo or something like that he did the interview. But he did that. And he tells a story where he was at some banquet and he didn't win an award or something like that. He's like, I saw it's like some expensive fancy china that passed by. He's like, I didn't get an award. So I was like, I'm leaving here with something. He's like, I'm leaving here with something.
Yeah, that works.
He's like, I'm gonna steal something. I was like, oh my gosh, Denzel Washington, you're amazing.
What the hell? Ladies and gentlemen, the Eagles are at XL Energy Center on their farewell tour on Saturday, November 18th, this Saturday. And you can see them with Catherine and me in my suite. To enter, just go to the Tom Barnard app or the website at tombarnardshow.com. Listen for your name to be announced each day at 8:10, 9:10, and 10:10. Email us back by midnight at contest@tombarnardshow.com, and you win. Today's qualifier to see the Eagles with me in my suite is David Elliott of Coon Rapids. David Elliott, email us by midnight tonight at contest@tombarnardshow.com. David Elliott of Coon Rapids. David Elliott, email us by midnight tonight, contest@tombarnardshow.com, and we'll see you there. It's this Saturday. Looking forward to that. A bunch of listeners coming to the deal.
So you excited? Do you have a favorite Eagles track that you're looking forward to hearing the most?
I like Life in the Fast Lane.
Okay.
It's a good song.
You didn't go with what's their California?
Hotel California.
Hotel California. Would that be their most popular song?
Yes, I think by far, right?
Yeah, probably. Yeah. Probably true. Yeah, they were a hell of a band. Glenn Fry, did you ever hear the Glenn Fry story?
I don't think so.
No, such a dimwit.
Oh no.
Now you have to understand. I used to be a drinker back then.
Yep.
You know who Rick Bourne is?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Rick's an old friend of mine. Known him for a while. I haven't seen Rick in a while, actually, though. But Rick Bourne used to have a 4th of July party at his house every year out on the lake. And Glenn Fry and he were really good friends, right?
Mm-hmm.
So many, many years later, so I used to go to the parties and all the rest of it. And then many years later, Glenn died, if you remember, just about 5 years ago, something like that. Glenn Fry died. It was about 5 years ago.
That sounds about right, yeah.
So I'm on the KQ show and I'm going on and on about, it's very, very sad because I've always loved Glenn Fry's music and seems like a really nice guy. I wish I would have met Glenn Fry. That would have been a lot of fun to hang out with Glenn Fry. I wish that would have happened.
Yeah, definitely.
And Rick Bourne texts over a picture with me with my arm around Glenn Fry at his house. Glenn Fry and I got our arms around each other, got the cocktail going. Well, you've met him, Tom, several times. Well, maybe back off on the Schwelen next time. But
I'd like to meet him again is what I meant. Yeah,
that's what I meant again.
Yeah,
I would like to meet him again. But, then I realized looking back, it's like, oh, God, yes, that's right. He was a really nice man. Is how things should be. Just be a nice person. You're very successful. I had heard not from Rick, but from other people who knew Glenn.
Mm-hmm.
They said every day, like they would go to his house and hang out with him for a few days, stay at his house. Every day, Glenn Fry would go to the mailbox and come away with about a foot deep pile of checks. Every day.
That mailbox money. That's got to be the best feeling in the world. Is you're just a retired rock star.
Yep.
And every day you put your robe and your slippers on, and you walk out to that mailbox and grab a little money.
That would be pretty cool, though. He said every day it was like a foot deep.
Yeah.
Just envelopes with checks in them.
What a problem to have.
Yeah, it's a bitch. What are you going to do with all this paper?
And what I'm surprised we've never heard of, or maybe it's just not happened on a grand scale, especially in today's world. How have their mailboxes not been robbed? Because now you can look up anybody's address.
That's true.
And you could just, okay, yeah, I know that such and such a person lives here and he's probably got some royalty checks coming in, and now I can do some sort of scam.
Well, he definitely had some royalty checks coming in, I'll tell you that. I wonder how does anybody know? God, the Eagles must have, who knows how much dough they made over the years?
They probably don't even know. Like their accountant is probably the only one that has the actual figure.
Well, it's too bad Brittany's not here because she just look it up like she did yesterday. It's like, what the hell are you doing, you dope?
That was a little awkward.
Did I miss something?
Oh, you missed it. Kristyn was on, and we were talking about net worth of like celebrities for some reason, and Brittany looks up Tom's net worth live on there
and starts talking about it on the air. And apparently, by the way, AJ,
yeah, I
didn't know this, but my net worth is between I'm broke or I'm a billionaire.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I mean that
leaves it,
yeah,
it leaves it open to interpretation.
Yes,
the good news.
Are any of those things accurate? Do you think those deals? Because they just announced that Nancy Pelosi's worth like $110 million.
I think it depends on the source. Like if Forbes puts out a number, it's like, hey, this person's estimated. I'll trust Forbes. They're pretty recognizable. But if it's like, how much is this person worth.com? I don't know.
Yeah. I'd say they're probably a little. They're probably close to accurate. I would assume they're probably a little bit lower because they have to, unless they're somehow getting inside information from all of like.
But how would I go from broke to worth $1 billion? That's a pretty big jump.
Right. And
I don't really if you understand that. And by the way, neither one's true. I'd like to point that out. Thank you.
And if you had an account set up with, Josh Arnold, an investment account,
right?
Do they have access to see how good your account is doing? How do they know you have $1 billion or $0 in your investment account unless he says something?
Isn't that one of the things that Trump's going through right now? Is he used to claim he was worth a lot more than he actually was?
Yeah, I think that's one of the bigger. From what I understand, and I'm not super knowledgeable, so feel free to also correct me here. There's a number of court cases that he's involved with, but the one that I've seen the most talked about recently is like fraud, where an apartment was valued at like really 30 million, but he had it propped up to like 50 million or something like that because of like square footage and alleged lies about the sizing and stuff like that. Also, very quick to go back, I found out that the Eagles had this is from 2019. They've been named the top earning band on Forbes' 2019 list for the world's highest paid celebrities. The iconic band took in a whopping $100 million, which was enough to have them ranked number 8 on the top 100 list for the year of just bands.
So 7 other people made more than 100 million
in 2019. Yes.
Jesus, that's a good year.
So I see why they're doing a farewell tour.
Yes, and another one, and another one, and another one.
Yep.
Well, did we make 2 million this week or not? My God.
So this Saturday, let us know if they just like shoot money out of cannons and stuff, and it gets up to your suite.
That would be nice. I don't know where the suite is. And by the way, it's not my suite. Everybody keeps saying, why do you have a suite? It's like, I don't have a suite.
I heard they were engraving your name above the door.
Yeah, exactly.
Permanently.
It's fingerprint like locked.
Exactly right. No, that should be a lot of fun though, because the whole show should be. Well, first of all, XL is a great building.
I agree. Yes.
And I did not know this, but they say the owner of the Wild owns that building. Is that true? I thought that was a municipal building.
No, I think I'll double check that, but I think he has a stake in the building.
Oh, a stake in the building. Okay, that makes sense.
Which I think is what most new stadiums now, like the cities, are requiring, because they don't want the city to pay for the entire building.
Yeah,
just sit there.
Yeah, it makes sense.
No, okay. I guess I was wrong. The arena is owned by the city of St. Paul and operated by the Wild's parent company, Minnesota Sports and Entertainment.
Oh, so they operate it, but they don't own it.
Yes.
Okay.
Correct.
I was wondering about that, because why would you? I mean, that's got to be a little spendy. That arena had to cost $1 or $2.
Yeah, right.
I mean, he's a billionaire. Don't get me wrong. His wife is even worth more money than he is, but still, to buy a building like that, I don't. No, it seems like a municipal deal more than anything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You guys aren't old enough to remember the old circular white building, are you?
For the Wild?
Are you talking about the arena in St. Paul?
Oh, no.
Wait, which one?
Oh God, what was it called again?
The Met? Is that what?
No, it was over in St. Paul. It's actually where the XL is now. But it was not. It was a completely different building. It was this round white building. What the hell was the name of that building again? I can't remember. It was not good. But Steve Martin had a great line in that building, because he walked out on stage. He had sold something like.
Was it the St. Paul Civic Center?
I think maybe that's just the St. Paul Civic Center. That might be right. Did they show a picture of it?
No, it's sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt your story. But
No, it's not a big deal. Like I said, it's just a white round building. It was not very nice. I mean, it was okay. It wasn't a dump or anything, but it was not a very nice arena. Whereas the XL Energy Center is gorgeous. It's a beautiful building, wouldn't you say?
Oh yeah, the XL Energy Center is I think that it was the St. Paul Civic Center. Showing a picture, right. It looks like a pancake.
Yeah, like one of the
there you go.
One of the like the cookie tins that like your grandma would have that only has sewing stuff in it. That's what it looks like on the outside.
Steve Martin had a great line, because that building was a huge building, just like XL is, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And he sold the place out. I don't know, it was like 25,000 people. Did it hold that many? XL holds how many people?
They say about 18,000.
Okay, so I would have seen Civic Center would be about the same then.
Yeah.
So he sells the place out, 18,000, 20,000, whatever it was, sells it out. He walks out on stage and he looks around at all these people, and none of the elevating. I suppose it'd be the same at the XL Energy Center, though. There's the flat part, and then it starts going up into the stands.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But they allow people to sit in the flat part for shows, don't they?
Yes.
Yeah.
Where the dice would normally be.
Yeah.
But Steve Martin walks out and he's looking around, just kind of not saying anything, looking around at all these people. The place is packed. And he reaches in his pocket. He goes, "Just for you, specially, I'd like to do my dime trick." Because nobody could have seen that dime, man. He was you ever seen him in concert?
No, I feel like he's hilarious.
Phenomenal.
Him and Martin Short are a pairing that I would love to see do a show together.
They got the TV show, right?
Yeah, and I watched it. And the chemistry is fantastic. And surprisingly, Selena Gomez fits into that.
She's good
well.
on there.
Yeah, she's tremendous. But yeah, I feel like Martin Short and Steve Martin have been like comedy icons for way before I was even born.
Oh yeah, and I remember my first like time I noticed Steve Martin was the Pink Panther.
Oh yeah, sure.
And I remember him in his multicolored suit that matched the wallpaper on the building, and he's like trying to sneak by flipping from side to side. Yeah,
I think mine was like cheaper by the dozen, but then but then I would also, my dad would show me like Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, which is one of the greatest like holiday movies. I was going to say Hall of Time, but that doesn't make sense.
Hall of Time.
Yeah, holiday movies. So good.
No question about that. Yeah, Steve, matter of fact, I can't remember how long ago that was. Was it 2 years ago when that show started?
Yeah, that seems about right. Maybe like 21 or so, because I think they've done 3 seasons.
Yeah, I think they're in season 3 right now.
Oh, so it was more than probably 3 years ago then.
And they've been picked up for season 4, which frankly I don't know how they're going to do based on how the first.
It's starting to get a little slow.
Yeah. Oh, is it?
Yeah,
that does happen. But yeah, it was kind of cool because when that show first started, Steve Martin and Martin Short both came on the show a few times over at KQ, and it was really fun.
That's awesome.
Well, we're gonna have to start I'll get to work and get that developed over here too. And those really big name people are promoting a show or whatever. I mean, we don't have any problem booking anybody on this show, do we?
No,
I wouldn't think so.
No, and even if there's last minute cancellations, I feel like are good about using us as a first point of contact.
Oh, good.
So.
I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's one thing about this job that I've absolutely loved, because I never had any clue doing, 6 to 10 at night at KSTP or WDGY or whatever, that I'd basically end up doing a show. I met just about every famous person there ever was to meet. I mean, I never saw that coming. It was very cool.
I mean, also you got to look at it. What was it, 2 weeks ago now, where we're just sitting around talking like we are now, and all of a sudden Marie Osmond's on the phone.
Yeah, that's right.
You never know who's up next.
She's always been nice to me. She's always been a very, very pleasant person.
Seems very lovely.
Well, she got a good sense of humor too. That's the other part of it that I just love. I got to be honest. The bigger the star, usually the bigger the star, the nicer they are.
Yeah. It's the people in the middle.
Yeah, it is.
That
like they're up and coming, so they're like defensive, but also offensive.
Because they're either like kind of on their way up to being that level star. So they're like, hey, look at me, I'm the next big thing, and show me some respect. Or they're on their way down, trying to still hold on to that spotlight and limelight, and they become an asshole.
That's funny because I've not started to watch season 3, so I shouldn't watch season 3. It's not very good.
I mean, if you really like the show, you're going to watch it and you'll be like, okay, this is good, but it's not as good. I think it's going to be hard for them to top season 1 with how much that was a success.
I think season 3 was better than season 2.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay.
Because like Tevin said, it gets a little slow, and I thought season 2 was incredibly slow in the middle, because there's
it was.
There was a lot of episodes where it's like, it's an hour long or it's a half hour long, but what you accomplished to like progress the story could have taken 2 to 3 minutes.
Yeah.
But I think season 3 only has like 1 or 2 of those episodes, and there's some pretty big heavy hitting stars. Like Meryl Streep's in there.
Oh,
she's fantastic. She does a very good like singing number in there as well. Paul Rudd I think he's funny.
Yeah, I like Paul Rudd. I think the fact that it switched to this almost musical style TV show threw me off, and I'm just like, I'm not into it that much.
What do you mean musical style?
So because season 3 is centered around a play that Martin Short's character is putting on, and it's a musical based play, so they break out into musical numbers. It's not over the top where it's every episode you've got 4 musical numbers, but it's enough where I'm like, I get it. We can move on.
There were times where it's like, it's in the story, like they're rehearsing, so it makes sense. But like there was one time where it's just all of a sudden, like a flash, all of a sudden Selena Gomez and those guys are in like tuxedos singing, doing a kick number. I'm like, okay, I don't like that one as much, but the well-written in ones I think are fine.
It felt almost like High School Musical style. We're all getting lunch, but we got to sing about getting lunch. And it's like, okay, there's backup.
Give me that subway to go.
God, AJ, I just noticed this just now. I hadn't noticed it before.
No.
Tevin looks a lot like Captain Kangaroo, don't you think?
I looked him up earlier too. You know who he actually does look like? You know the Raiders owner Mark Davis?
Yeah, absolutely.
That is immediately who I thought of. And maybe it's just the hair. It's probably only the hair. But
I just love anytime somebody doesn't like Tom, and he's like, I don't know why they don't like me. All I did was, tell me he looks like Captain Kangaroo.
Yeah,
I'll look it up and I'll be like, That's like the meanest thing you could say.
Not mean.
I don't know why that person doesn't like me. All I did was tell them that they're crappy and they look like a steaming pile of dog crap.
Yeah,
but other than that,
you never said anything mean.
What are we talking about?
But let me just point something out, and you guys might not know this, but in the neighborhood, that's how you talked about everybody.
Yes.
And Pete, see, most white people don't know that.
Yes, most of the time, if I don't take some sort of shot at you, I either don't know you well enough to know what boundary I can or cannot like approach, or I just don't like you enough to make you feel included in my roasting session.
Like, I bet nobody in Western Wisconsin ever played the dozens.
No.
I don't think. Do you know what the dozens are?
No, I'm not sure. I know like there's a thing right now that's kind of big. It's trivia. It's called the dozen. But I don't think.
No, this is totally different.
Okay, all right.
Like calling somebody Captain Kangaroo would be very nice in the dozens.
Oh no,
it'd be very, very. Do you know the rhyme that they used to start with? Because it all said, I'm going way back now. See, I find myself to be very fortunate to even know these things and having witnessed these things. I love it. But somebody'd smart off to somebody else. And then the other guy would go, you want to play the dozens? Well, the dozens is a game. But the way I do your mother's a goddamn shame.
And
that's how it used to start.
And that will definitely start whatever it is you're looking to start.
Only they didn't say do.
Yeah.
I will tell you that part. They didn't use the word do. But,
essentially it was, like the your mama jokes type of thing that my childhood grew up with. Or I remember being in college and you'd walk over to like if all my teammates were sitting at a lunch table as I'm walking over, somebody's yelling something about how dumb I look walking over. And then I sit down and I tell them how dumb they look. And now it's everybody's making fun of everybody until somebody's feelings get hurt.
And I was told that I didn't know this. I was told many, many years ago that the name in Africa, where it started, because it doesn't started in Africa, but it was not called the dozens. Do you know where it was called in Africa?
No.
No? The signifying monkey. That was the name of it.
I feel like I've heard that saying before.
Oh, you've heard signifying monkey? Well, that's where that came from. It's an African saying. What is it? Are you looking it up?
Yep.
I'll be interested to hear what they say about
just because this is normally Brittany's computer. So if anything offensive comes up,
it'll come up on her computer.
She's the one getting asked.
I love that. That works for me. See, look, you learn so many things by listening to this show that most people would never learn, because you got to be, unless you grew up in that kind of neighborhood, you don't know anything about this stuff unless it was in a movie or something.
That's half the reason why I come in here. I just want to learn something.
Just learn some. Oh, it's all bad things, so that's the problem.
School of Tommy B.
Yeah, there you go. All bad stuff. What's it saying?
So it looks like it started as a like this monkey was a folklorish type character.
Correct.
That was served as a messenger who mediated between the gods by men by means of tricks.
I love that.
Plays tricks on people, and that's about all they've got for me.
Well, they did more than play tricks on people. So that's a whole different deal.
Yeah, he was. He had apparently numerous songs that I don't know if he produced or sang, but he performed them with his friend, the lion and the elephant.
Yep.
So yeah.
It's a very interesting story, how it all developed and how it happened, why it happened, all those things.
Yep.
But then they kind of changed it over to the dozens when it came to America. I don't know why it was called the dozens, but
no. But yeah, essentially it sounds like his friends were the lion and the elephant, and all he did was make fun of them and insult them.
That's correct. It's exactly where that's very good. Where did you find that story?
This one was just on Wikipedia.
On Wikipedia.
So yeah, take that, any information there.
Take that, teachers.
I hated that. Because you can't use Wikipedia as a source. First of all, it's the greatest source ever invented because it has everything. Yes. And if it's on Wikipedia, there's also other links that I can fact check this with to make sure that it works.
You know how much hassle it is to edit and put misinformation on? You have to make an account. You have to go in. You have to alter the text. You have to save it. You have to do a verification thing. And then actually it takes a second or two to actually publish. And then other people are monitoring stuff. So they're going to get a notification saying, hey, so-and-so just changed your page, and they're just gonna be like, oh, that's not true. And then it immediately gets everything on there is just fine.
Yep.
It's just fine. Unless it's a very little known thing. If it's you're looking up the War of 1812, you can use it as a source.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yeah. There's people that monitor it. I remember at one point, because my friend, he was one of those guys that loved to go on Wikipedia and just change things and see how long it would stay up there. And it was always maybe a day it stayed up there.
Yeah, exactly.
And the one thing that stood up there the longest, he changed the like Madden world champion to my name for like 2007.
Yes.
And so, yeah, for like a week or so, I was the best EA Sports Madden player in the world.
I like it.
That's great.
Works for me. I don't know about this headline. You guys are going to have to help me with this because we used to have cats when we lived out on the farm, but we've always had a dog. And it says here, a study found pets don't actually make us happy.
That's
the biggest lie in the world.
I agree. It's 100% wrong. Don't you think?
Yeah.
I mean, Jude, if we didn't have Jude at the house, see, one thing I love is that we watch, Catherine and I, she's got a busy day, I got a busy day. We get together, watch a couple of shows at night, and then we go to bed, right? And we have you've been to my house, haven't you?
Nope.
The new one? You have?
Nope.
Because we have a movie theater downstairs that we put the movie theater chairs and all that stuff. So I sit in the one on the left, then Jude sits in the one next to that, and then Catherine sits in one. He has to be between us every night.
Yeah.
Not over to her right, not over to my left. He's got to be right between the two of us.
Yeah.
Which I think is very sweet.
Oh, absolutely. And even like obviously your own personal pet, you're gonna like they just enter or like they're hanging out with you, you feel happy. But even Jude coming into the studio, instantly much happier than I am without him in the studio. So yeah, whoever did this study,
who wrote that? Somebody with allergies? Like,
yeah, maybe.
The dog catcher? Is that who wrote that? What are we talking about?
And like my girlfriend is allergic to dogs.
Oh,
and she still loves my dog with all of her. Like she'll get right in his face. She's like, I'll just pop Zyrtec like it's candy because she's like, I just love dogs that much. So yeah, pets 100%
I love
make
them.
people happy.
Absolutely. Did they poll real pet owners for this? Or just people who bought a chinchilla 2 months into COVID and regretted it? Why'd they go after chinchillas? What's the problem?
That's also not a run-of-the-mill pet.
Yeah, it's an obscure pet.
That's true. A new study at Michigan State found that having pets might not make us happier. No, I disagree completely.
Yeah.
Jude insists when I go to kiss Catherine goodnight, when we stand up after watching the show or whatever, I go and give her a hug and a kiss, tell her I love her every night. And then I look at Jude and he's going back and forth like this. Come over and pet me. Come over and pet me. Come over and pet me. I have to pet him. It's just how it is, right? Early in the pandemic, May of 2020, researchers talked to over 750 people 3 separate times to gauge how well they were coping. In general, pet owners said their pets were definitely helping by offering companionship and affection, but they also mentioned the downside, things like cost, worrying about their pet's health, and how they could be a nuisance while working from home. In the end, the study was found it was a wash. People who didn't have pets were just as happy overall. Quote, people say that pets make them happy, but when we actually measure happiness, that doesn't appear to be the case. Bullshit. This is 100% wrong.
They did this during the pandemic when nobody was happy, regardless
exactly.
of what. Yeah. So your dog wasn't going to make up for the fact that you probably lost your job, knew somebody that died of COVID, you're locked in your house 24/7. Like, yeah, okay, yeah, your dog isn't going to make everything look like rainbows and butterflies.
No, very true. Yeah. The theory is people without pets fill their lives with other interests, and that stuff might make them just as happy as a pet would. And then at the bottom, they wrote, worth noting, the lead author of the study was Cruella de Vil.
That's good.
No,
that's good.
That story is 100% wrong. Pets absolutely have always made us happy. I mean, we have had situations where Catherine, Andy, Alex, and I would have a pet forever. And then I remember we had to put Cassie Russell down. There was weeping for like 2 days.
Yeah,
man, my family hated that we had to put him down, but he was like 14 years old. But yeah, Cassie and Nipsey Russell, those were our 2 dogs. You guys know who Cassie and Nipsey Russell are?
I don't know who Cassie is.
I know Nipsey Hussle.
Yeah, I know Nipsey Hussle.
Yeah,
but
Nipsey Hussle.
Nipsey Russell, wasn't he a comedian?
Yep.
Yeah. So I didn't know that until talking to you, because I always thought like, oh, Nipsey Hussle, that's where that comes from. But now he got his name from the comedian.
Nipsey Russell, that's exactly right. And you can look up Cassie Russell because you guys would be fans of Cassie Russell.
K-A-Z-I?
K-A-Z. That could be K-A-Z-Z-I-E or one of those. I don't remember how to spell it. But Cazzie Russell was a very talented human being. That's all I'm saying.
Basketball player.
You got it. What does it say about it? Play for Boston?
Looks like he was drafted by the New York Knicks with the first overall pick in 1996.
Okay.
Yeah, it looks like he played for the Golden State Warriors for a little while. The Lakers.
He's a great player.
Yeah. Signed with the Bulls. Yeah.
Oh, he was with all those different teams that won championships.
Surprisingly, he only won the championship once.
That was it, really?
1970.
1970. Otherwise, his other accolade, he was a one-time All-Star and a All-Rookie in 66-67.
He was around that long ago? Jesus, 55 years ago?
Yeah, I'm trying.
God, that's
rookie season 1966, 1967 with the Knicks.
Still alive, 79 years old.
Love it. Cazzie Russell. Cazzie Russell and Nipsey Russell. I don't think Nipsey Russell's alive, though, is he?
I have no idea.
I don't think. N-I-P-S-Y. I think that's how you spell Nipsey. Not sure. But yeah, this article that pets don't actually make us happy. I disagree with that 100%. We love having pets, always have loved having dogs, cats, things like that.
Oh, yeah. Nipsey Russell definitely died.
Yeah, 05.
Yep, 05. Born in 1918.
He was?
Yeah.
Holy God. He was on the Carson show a lot back in the day. He would come out and do the Tonight Show. It was really, really good on there.
Was he on Dick Clark's as well?
What? Okay, so let me ask you a question. Yeah, that's exactly right. So this article was written by someone who doesn't like animals, obviously. And what point are they trying to make?
There is no point.
That's one of those studies I feel like where, no offense to the scientific people, but you nerd, like get out of here. You can give me all the information and the data, and you co-talk to these people and you cross-reference these numbers. You're lying. It's wrong. People like pets. Pets make people happy.
Yeah. And isn't there something better you can be doing with your time than figuring out exactly how happy a pet does or does not make somebody? Yeah.
No question. Look, I will tell you this. When I was the one, of course, actually, Catherine couldn't even go with us. But Andy and Alex both went with me to put Cazzie Russell down. And I will never forget that because I was kind of petting him. And then the doctor came over and injected him. And I'm petting him and he's looking at me. And I realized he's looking at me, but he's dead. And that was weird. We got to take a break already?
Mm-hmm. Do we miss our 9:15?
We've been engulfed in conversation. So
we didn't do the 9:15?
We did not. No.
Holy Hannah, I better get going then, huh?
Which is just fine because it's a podcast. So frankly, it doesn't matter. But
no, I know it doesn't matter. You're absolutely right. But I didn't even realize that's the first time I've ever missed that.
That was supposed to be a gentle reminder was all. Not, and I'm not.
Are you going to pet me and then I'll stare at you and be dead anyway? Is that what you're saying?
And then we will. Whoa! Why are you fist pumping?
Well, after the break, I've got a major announcement after the break.
Okay,
major. Announcement.
Don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. We'll be right back.
This is the Tom Barnard Show. Listen live at tombernardshow.com or on the Tom Barnard Show app.
Tom here, and I just read a success story from MN Fat Loss client Elizabeth, who just completed the program. Elizabeth writes, I'm a 54-year-old woman who has struggled with losing weight. I had almost constant heartburn, trouble sleeping, brain fog. I tried counting calories, eating bars and shakes, and several other programs in which I would lose 5 to 10 pounds after months of struggling. After 60 days of the MN Fat Loss program, I was down 25 pounds. MN Fat Loss had really empowered me to believe that I can control my eating and my weight without having to sacrifice foods that I like. If you're thinking about finally committing to improving your health, this is the time to start. You won't regret your investment in yourself. It's so easy to see if MN Fat Loss is a good fit for you. They offer a free phone consultation to learn about the program. They also have virtual options to help you if you live far away, which I think is a brilliant idea. To schedule that free phone consultation, go to mnfatloss.com. The only thing you have to lose is that unwanted weight. That's www.mnfatloss.com. I cannot wait to hear about your success story. And please let them know that Tom sent you.
In a world that's racing a mile a minute, a split-second distraction can change everything. I'm Mike Bryant from Bradshaw & Bryant. Every day we see too many people, heads buried in their phones, unaware of the dangers they're in. Texting and driving isn't just reckless, it's playing Russian roulette with your life and the lives of others. In just 4 seconds of distraction, you've driven the length of a football field. Is there any text message that's worth your life, that's worth the lives of others? I've been fighting for the rights of the injured for over 30 years, but I'd rather you never meet me in a courtroom. So hear me now. Stop texting and driving. Pay attention. Value your lives and the lives around you. And if you won't, know this. At Bradshaw and Bryant, we're relentless. We won't back down. We bring justice to those that need it.
Find Bradshaw and Bryant, personal injury attorneys at minnesotapersonalinjury.com.
With Mike Bryant on your side, seeking justice for the injured. Bradshaw and Bryant.
Recently, Jim Paul of Valley Buick GMC was contacted by a company that does on-site sales. Jim was confused.
Wait, they don't know anything about us, our staff, our reputation, most importantly, our customers.
Hey, pal, no problem. We do them all over the country. You know, get the manager off the roof sale, inflatable gorilla sale, and our favorite, the 13-hour sale with a giant clock that goes to 13. Urgency, baby. We bring our crew because, well, your people are, let's just say, a little laid back.
And the pricing?
Nothing special, sport.
But Jim thought, we price competitively every day. Our prices are special. We definitely don't need these guys. But sale does convey some urgency, so we made a bold decision for his fine dealerships.
Announcing the Valley Buick GMC 365-day sale. And we can even extend it a couple years or so.
I got the air dancer guy, scratch-offs, plastic keys, bubble machine.
Valley Buick GMC in Apple Valley or Hastings, or valleycardealers.com. Hurry.
The Tom Barnard Show is proud to have partners like North American Banking Company, Bradshaw and Bryant, and attorney and advertiser Dave Bielke.
I've been advertising on Tom Barnard shows for years. I like Tom, not just because he's a good guy, but because the ads I run on his show bring me new clients that are hurt at work and need legal help. Tommy B works for me.
If you'd like to find out more about growing your business with the Tom Barnard Show, go to tombarnardshow.com, keyword partner.
We are back, and we now go to the newsroom and Tevin.
Yes. So as we are all aware,
thanks, Tom.
Yeah, I'm standing here outside as we all know, Derek, member of the Tevin fan club, we've got a new member today. Oh. Andy messaged in and said that he might be becoming a Tevin fan. So the fan club is up. No. This is a different Andy.
Different Andy. Okay.
Different Andy listener messaged in, said he's a fan. So we're up to 2. There's no perks. We're not going to, the Tevin suite at the XL Energy Center to see the Eagles or anything like that. But I just wanted everybody to know that we're up to 2 now. So thank you, Andy.
Right. That was your big announcement.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
Right. More me now.
You want the bad news about that?
Yes.
I just checked my email and he's right. He didn't make up that email. That was a real email from Andy.
Yes.
Okay. Where's Andy from?
I don't know. That's
it doesn't say.
Doesn't say, but no. He's a fan of the show. He's a fan of you first, but I'm second.
You're coming on big.
Yeah. So if you want an updated scoreboard, the AJ fan club, a whopping 0. The Tevin fan club,
2.
The
Tom fan club, 11,000 birthday wishes.
Say, we'll work our way up. Brittany's got her neighbor Linda, her mom, and her grandma. Yes. So that's 3. Beverly is her diehard fan. And then Tom is literally everybody else. Yes. So it's a pretty close race.
Nice try. Make me look bad in front of the listeners. Way to go.
What are you talking about? No.
It's all about you, Tom. I can hear what you're thinking.
Mind reader,
baby. No, I got to ask you a question about this because, the radio ratings back in the day with the radio ratings, they were never accurate. Mm-hmm. I mean, they were close, but they could bounce all over the place and they could change. And some was real, some was. I'm not saying anybody did anything intentional. It's just they were not a very good way to do ratings.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Wouldn't you agree?
Well, yeah, because it's also how many people are in the car, if you're carpooling, and things like that. Or
because I think they also used to, they would they would mail out what is the service that it used to be?
For the rating system for radio?
Rating. I can't remember. I can't. Armatron. Thank you. They would send out devices, and what they would have to do is okay, you're in the car, you have to mark it. But the thing is, people would fib because if they're a guy who's 40, maybe he's not supposed to be, and for the people, the audio audience, I'm doing the air quotations here, not supposed to be listening to entertainment talk radio because he's got to be listening to sports, whatever. So he's not, some people aren't going to put down. I'm listening to Ryan Gosling drama talk. I'm going to listen to Vikings Power Hour. Let's talk about Josh Dobbs. So some of those numbers were never the most accurate. Obviously, they provided a good baseline for an idea, but there's a big range of just miscalculated data.
Yeah, and I work at a factory, and so we play the show, and there's 3,000 of us in here listening to this as opposed to so you get it. It's hard to get an exact.
But is anybody actually listening just because they're in the warehouse? That's the amazing part of it.
Yeah, it's background noise.
Like it's background noise. It doesn't really matter. My favorite that I ever heard, I was talking to an Arbitron guy about this, as a matter of fact, because then they had a way to measure movement, like when you're moving throughout your day. Because some people would just take their receptor, put it on a little stand, turn the radio on, and leave for the day.
Okay.
So it looked like they were listening to the radio the whole day when they weren't even there.
Yeah.
So they said, we got to do something about that. So we have a motion detector on the receiver, right? So we'll see if you're really moving around or if it's just sitting stable, which would not make sense. That's not real. So you know what one guy did? Taped it to the fan in his bedroom.
Yes.
Going around, just keeps going around.
See, my idea was put the dog water bowl right in front of the sensor so they pass by every once in a while. Yeah. Oh, that's smart though, the fan.
Hey, he just taped it to the fan and moved around all day long. But so the way they measure listening audience on the internet, is it a much more stable? Because I've heard that can fluctuate a lot too.
Yeah, it can fluctuate, but I think it's more accurate because people are either downloading or streaming, and then you can get a count. Because you can get it so accurate as you can tell at which point in the show they stopped listening, your average time listened, or if they skip over commercials.
And you see that on YouTube is now you'll see a spike where it's this is the most viewed portion of this video. If it's a 5-minute long thing, but it's there's one clip that everybody wants to go see. You can see this is where the majority of people are watching, whereas 4 minute and 30-second mark, almost nobody's watching because it's just a bad interview at that point. So
yeah, it makes sense. So because I don't keep track of all that stuff, and they didn't. I asked a couple of times for them to send me the daily streaming and all that stuff, the numbers and all that, but I don't pay attention to that. But they tell me that they're going up every day now.
It's climbing, from what I hear. I don't.
Oh, you don't check them either?
I don't get the numbers as well, but I hear good things.
Well, that's good because I don't even hear that.
Okay, well,
because I think Amy hates me, and therefore she's just trying to destroy me. That's what it's all about.
That's why she made me come work with you.
Exactly right. Now, as a matter of fact, I'm going to go see everybody today because there's a sales meeting at 1:30, so I might go over and have a little lunch with maybe Dan or Amy or somebody. I'd still love going into that building because it reminds me of being 18 years old. That's amazing. I walked in that building for a job when I was 18 years old. That's how long ago that was.
I bet you the hallway there's one hallway that I feel like is probably the same decor as when you were 18
I think that's very true. You're absolutely. I do not like the fact they covered up the K in KSTP that used to be in the floor.
Oh, did they?
You guys even know about that?
No, I know they recently redid the walk-in entrance last year, and it looks fantastic now.
It looks great.
Yeah, it's a really cool update, but I don't know what you're talking about.
When you used to walk in, because I remember when I was 18, I actually did it. When you'd walk in, it said KSTP in the linoleum. Like they had special linoleum made up that said KSTP, and the back of the K, where it all begins, was very, very long. It's probably about 50 feet long. And I asked, security, why is the line in a K so long? He said, true story, that if you stand on the left side of that K line, you're in Minneapolis. And if you stand on the right side of it, you're in St. Paul. That building is right on half of that building. Well, I don't know half anymore, but it used to be. Half the building was in Minneapolis. Half the building was in St. Paul. Did you know that?
No, I actually had no clue. That's brand new to me.
Yeah. I did not know that either. And now, thinking about it, the STP definitely stands for St. Paul.
St. Paul.
And I never would have. I just thought it was just random call letters.
There you go. So
I'm gonna get in somebody's face about that today when I'm over there.
You should, because I'm coming over.
Where is the K?
So is the STP still there?
No, it's all covered with. Is it carpeted now?
I think they just redid. It's like tiling now.
Oh, so it's tiling. It's just different.
Yeah. It's just a different floor. Yeah.
But the funny thing about Jim Chanel's the guy who hired me. 18 years old. I was hired to run the Jesus tapes. On Sunday, I used to run the religious tapes.
No, what an hour that must have been.
I had no idea.
Yeah. They used to do that I think it was like you had to play religious stuff on Sunday mornings.
Really? Oh, God.
You had to do it. But
so young.
Yeah, you guys are so young comparatively. That's absolutely right. Yeah. But Uncle Tommy, the first time I played the Jesus tapes at KSTP back in the day when I was 18, I didn't realize it was Tails Out. So I reloaded it, hit it, because it was some Polish Catholic church over in Wisconsin.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm listening to it, and it sounded like Polish to me. It was running backwards. But I didn't know. I don't speak Polish, right? So I'm getting all these calls. You think that's funny? What are you doing? You some new guy? You think that's funny? I'm like, what are you talking about? They said, you're running it backwards. I went, oh, it was Tails Out. Never mind.
Just stop it. My bad, guys. And you just flip it around, press play like nothing happened.
Let's get back to the hits.
Yep. So I walk in for my initial interview with Jim Chanel, who became Captain Whammo in Chicago, by the way. Great name. But anyway, he's coming to pick me up, and I'm just in the lobby by myself. Wasn't as much security back then. And I had to do it. I was 18 years old.
Mm-hmm.
So my left foot is left of the back of the K, and my right foot is right of the back of the K. So I'm standing in both Minneapolis and St. Paul. And Jim Chanel walks in, looks down at me and goes, oh, for Christ's sake. It's like, well, I thought I'd enjoy it if I could get that deal done. You know what I mean?
Did they have that like a rule? So a lot of times if in locker rooms or stadiums, they'll have like the Vikings logo will be in the floor and it'll be like, nobody can walk on the logo.
Oh, yeah.
Do they have that at KSTP where they're like, no, you can't walk on the K, or was it not that big?
I don't think it was that big a deal. At least nobody ever told me that. But again, most of the time I either worked there on the weekends or at night.
So you're probably the only guy in the thing.
Yeah, I mean, when I was there, first of all, I just did weekends, so I was always the only one around there.
Mm.
And then I did overnights, which once again, I'm the only one there. 10 to 2 at night, the only one there. And then I finally moved to 6 to 10, and then there were other people there at the beginning of the show.
Yeah.
But to tell you the truth, when I did overnights, I did get to see like Charlie Bush and Chuck Knapp when they came in and did the morning show.
Yeah, so there's got to be a little crossover.
Yeah, there was a little crossover, but you guys know anything about Charlie? You ever heard that name before, Charlie Bush?
Charlie Bush? Nope.
I just know George.
George Bush, yeah. Well, Charlie was the morning news guy on 1500 KSTP. Legendary guy. Just one of the nicest men ever.
Mm-hmm.
Very smart man. Just a great guy. I was so fortunate to work with him. And again, he was coming to do the morning show and I was doing the overnight show and all the rest of it.
Mm-hmm.
And if I mispronounce, and again, I'm 18 years old. So if I mispronounced a word that I had never seen before, the door would all of a sudden open when I was in commercial. And in a very sweet voice, the door would open and Charlie would look at me and go, Tom, that's pronounced internecine. And the door would close.
I have a similar story to that from,
Do you really?
From my days at St. Cloud.
That's
I was working at the student-run radio station KVSC there, and I was just the sports guy, so I'm getting the sports report ready and blah blah blah. And at the time, the overseer Joe McMullen Boyer, who unfortunately within the past year passed away, which is terrible. She was a tremendous person, but she comes in, hey, Garrett has the flu and he's just throwing up.
Ooh.
You don't have a problem. And she was very coercive in this. She worded it very well. You don't have a problem filling in on the full newscast today, do you? I was like, no, not at all, Joe. I'll take care of it. I don't, I wasn't ready for it. But I get in there, there was some story, and for some reason, I'm like, my mind is is scrambled eggs at this point, just nervous for no reason because I'm very new to this. But I'm reading a story about the Marine Corps, but I kept saying Marine Corps.
Oh God!
Oh yeah.
So I'm like, yeah, we'll have the weather coming up right after this, and she just pops her head in. AJ, you're doing great. Great cadence is great. It's Marine Corps.
Yeah.
Same
story.
And I was like, oh, so sorry. Thank you. And then but God, tremendous person. Miss her.
Isn't that wonderful that to have those great memories of people you started working with way at the beginning?
Yeah.
That stuff is great.
It's kind of one of those moments where you realize nobody really knows what they're doing until they figure out what they're doing. Because you're like, oh, you have no problem filling on the newscast. You're like, yeah, of course I could do that. And then you take like that split second to realize I've never done this before. I have no idea how we're going to do this, but we're going to figure it out together once that microphone turns on.
Well, it's like Joe Buck when he first did football. He had never done a football game in his life.
God.
He was doing like basketball and stuff. And then when he got the initial job offer to do some NFL game, somebody's like, yeah, you can do this, right? He goes, oh, I do it all the time, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And then there's a 4-day buffer. He's like, I don't know a thing about how to call a football game. And for 4 days straight, he just only watched football broadcasts, read football books, and listened to radio broadcasts of like how to call. And then he's like, it wasn't good, but it was good enough to where they were like, yeah, come on back again.
Yeah. And now he's probably one of the, if not the best broadcasters of the last probably 20, 30 years.
Absolutely.
All right, there's one word. I know you got to hit the road here. We got to go to
One
break.
word, though. I want to know.
There's one word that Brittany has said 4 times now, and I've not corrected her, but if she does it again, I'm going to have to. You guys know what word that is?
No.
She said it 4 times on the show, and she mispronounces it every time.
This was just yesterday?
I think she did say it yesterday. Yes.
I don't know, but now that I know it, I'm going to set her up as much as I possibly can to try and say this word.
I want to know so we can do this tomorrow. Yeah. This will be
Okay,
a
you
fun
ready for
game.
the word then?
Mhm.
I don't know why she says this, but she always says lackadaisical.
Damn, that's a tough one to. Isn't it lackadaisical?
It's lackadaisical.
Lackadaisical.
Is it really?
It's not lackadaisical. It's a lackadaisical.
I say it wrong too. So I can't.
Do you guys really?
I can't make fun of her, but I will set her up to say it now.
Andy, do you pronounce it lackadaisical or lackadaisical? Very political, Andy. Very political.
I will take the Sweden approach. And...
Yeah, there's no S there. It's just lackadaisical.
Yeah, God, I rarely use that, but I've always said lackadaisical. But
a lot of people do, and I don't know why.
Okay, that's interesting.
Who the hell knows why? Oh, you got to go.
I'm going to brainstorm all night. My shift at Hubbard is going to be only brainstorming how we can get Brittany to say lackadaisical.
Every news story is just going to be. Does it have lackadaisical in there or lackadaisical in the headline? Or it's in here.
Look it up during the break, and then when we get back, Tevin will tell you how it's spelled. We'll take a break. AJ, you're out of here. Andy's coming in.
Mm-hmm.
We'll talk to you tomorrow, pal.
Yep. See you guys tomorrow.
We'll be right back.
This is the Tom Barnard Show.
You need to know a guy for your auto repairs, legal issues, banking, and more. The same goes for investment advice. You need a guy to help you be successful, someone you can trust who gets results. Well, I got a guy for you, Josh Arnold. Josh gives you straight talk, not sugar-coated advice about your financial situation. Josh has seen it all when it comes to economic and market conditions, and Josh can make sure that your retirement objectives match your investments. Do yourself a favor and call Josh now for a no-obligation 48-minute evaluation. You've got nothing to lose, and you'll get a different point of view for your investments. Call Josh at 952-925-5608. That is 952-925-5608. You'll be glad that you did. And tell him his guy, Tom, sent you.
Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant, LLC, a security investment advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments involve risk. All comments and opinions are Josh Arnold's and do not constitute investment advice. Tom Barnard is a paid endorser.
Hello, I'm Brad Huckle, President and Chief Lending Officer at North American Banking Company.
And I'm Michael Bilski, CEO at North American Banking Company.
As a locally owned and operated community bank, we work with many multi-generational businesses.
Take Personal Care Dentistry of Roseville, for example. Dr. Walter Hunt, also known as Painless to me, has been a longtime customer of the bank since we opened the bank in 1998.
When his son Kyle was ready to join the practice, they wanted to expand quickly.
With their additional space and equipment, they now are able to see more patients each day while providing the same level of care and service.
Okay, guys, I'll take it from here. If you run a family business or any kind of business for that matter, you should be banking with Brad and Mike over at North American Banking Company. Every time I deal with them or their team, I know I'm working with experienced professional bankers. So why not bank with my banker? North American Banking Company, a better banking experience, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
This is Bob Sansevier, and I want to tell you about Dave Bialki from Bialki Law. Dave represented my wife, Mary, when she had a significant workplace injury. She was very happy with the job Dave did. If you have a work-related injury and have Dave represent you, I'm betting you'll be happy too. Dave is a down-to-earth guy. He grew up in northern Minnesota, rides a Harley, and worked various jobs doing concrete, electrical, plumbing, roofing, and carpentry work. Dave works for people with work-related injuries. If you work construction, or anywhere for that matter, and you're hurt or even just hurting, you should talk to Dave. Let's face it, our bodies wear out. If your body is worn out from work, if your knees or back or shoulders hurt from things you do at work, do what Mary did. Call Dave and talk to him about it at Bialki Law to set up a free initial consultation. The number to call is 763-571-2410. That's 763-571-2410. Or visit bialkilaw.com. That's BIALKE law.com.
Anyway, so lackadaisical.
Yeah, you were right. No S.
You know what's another one is, how would you describe something that engages in a lot of mischief?
If you're mischievous. If you're mischievous.
Nope.
Mischievous.
Mischievous. Yep.
That'll be one that I probably say wrong.
Almost everyone does.
Every time.
Mischievous. They do say mischievous. There's one more to what the hell is it?
Well, there's a lot more than one more.
Oh, I bet you there's a lot of them.
Andy, maybe you think of this as well when you hear the word mischievous. I think of the mischievous raccoonus from Sly Cooper, the video game. Did you ever play that?
Thievius raccoonus.
Oh, that's right. Thievius raccoonus. Damn it. So I'm wrong twice.
Raccoonus.
I'm wrong twice.
Sly Cooper, the Thievius raccoonus.
Thievius raccoonus.
Now, some things that I know, it's like, I don't know. I'll be going through my day and someone will be like, oh, hey, yeah, you've met my friend 20 different times. And I'm like, yeah, I totally know their name. Don't ask me it, though.
No.
And then I can remember the title of a Sly Cooper game, which I've never played, by the way, that came out 20 years ago.
Why do you think you know it then?
I have no idea. Thievius raccoonus is fun to say, but Bob is not. I guess that's all it is.
Thievius raccoonus.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wait a minute. This might be a good tip off for you guys as we move toward the holidays here, even further toward the holidays. Thanksgiving is a week from tomorrow, correct?
Yes.
Is it?
God, it is. Yeah, a week from
already
tomorrow.
is.
Isn't Thanksgiving on a Thursday?
Oh, yeah. So it'd be a week from Thursday.
Week from Thursday.
Oh, I'm sorry, a week from Thursday. You're absolutely right. For some reason, I thought it was Wednesday today. I don't know why the hell that is. But now looking, it's actually my sister Bobby's birthday today, November 14th. Mine's the 7th, hers the 14th. You know, I had to steal it from her.
And we haven't met her in like 15 years.
No, it's got to be closer to 20.
Last time I remember was it was in Golden Valley. God, I think I was a teenager still. I'm still living
20
there.
years ago. Yeah.
Pretty crazy.
We were just talking about that this morning, Andy, that I called Terry last night.
Oh, yeah?
Because he was on Channel 9. They interviewed him for Veterans Day and all that.
Oh.
But, so I gave him a call last night, and I might go see him this weekend. But I have not seen him in 20 years.
Can't even name the last time I saw him.
No, it's been that long. And I try to explain, or I explained it earlier this morning. I won't spend a lot of time on this, but it just was that people do not realize the childhood that we all had. It was not good. Now, look, there are great parts of it. Don't get me wrong. Like I said, the fathers, when my father was hauled off in that straitjacket, the fathers in the neighborhood stepped up and said, Tommy, we'll take care of you. Don't worry about it. They watched over my family. So there were great things that happened too, but a lot of misery, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
So, Bobby, haven't talked to her in 20 years. I talked to Terry last night for the first time in about 20, 25 years, something like that. So maybe we're making a little headway.
Yeah.
But what are you going to do? What are you going to do? There are plenty of times to watch what you eat, but for a lot of people, that starts sometime after the next 6 weeks. There's a survey out on the holiday foods that cause constipation for some people. I didn't know holiday foods cost. You'd think it'd do the exact opposite.
No. Well, with the sheer
of it.
Yeah, the sheer amount. The amount of food I eat on Thanksgiving is disgusting.
It is.
Oh, yeah.
If you're wondering who's thinking about that right now, it's commissioned by a company that makes laxatives. So, yeah. Turkey is number one. 44% of people say it can get them backed up. Pecan pie is second, followed by potatoes, chocolate, pumpkin pie, fudge, sugar candy, stuffing, ham, and rack of lamb. The top beverages that clog the system include chocolate milk, non-alcoholic eggnog, hot chocolate, espresso martinis, alcoholic eggnog, and peppermint martinis.
So alcohol.
So alcohol.
Also not
eggnog.
alcohol. I used to love eggnog as a kid. Now it's like I don't know. I just don't really like it anymore.
I never really got into it. My little brother loved eggnog.
Yeah.
Like the second after Halloween ended,
Yep.
Mom, we need to go to the store.
As a kid, I would chug eggnog.
There you have it. Overall, 70% of people say they experience constipation more frequently during the holiday season. It's impressive that people pig out so much, and yet they can still identify the culprit. That's the main cause of the problem. That's true.
Mm-hmm.
They actually know who's causing it, or not who, but what's causing it. I've never had that problem. I've never gotten all backed up or anything from holiday eating.
No, and they also named like 90% of the foods that are eaten.
Well, that's the other thing. It's like they just named them all, basically.
Let's just throw a net over everything so we can't be wrong.
Oh, did you send me the story about Brittany Mahomes?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It depends on which one, I guess, but yes.
Brittany Mahomes could lose her spot on Taylor Swift's squad now that some old hate tweets have surfaced.
Oh, I didn't see this.
Oh, you know, I thought you sent it to me. Sure, they did. They're a decade old, but if we've learned anything over the past 10 years, it's that Taylor does not forget. Back in 2012, when she was 17 years old, Brittany tweeted this to Taylor. I want to know when you're going to find something different to write about besides boys and relationships. The following year, she posted an angry face emoji along with the phrase, Taylor Swift winning everything. Brittany has apparently deleted the tweets, but screenshots are circulating all over the place.
I like how they describe these as hate tweets.
It's not
like the most
hate.
mild criticism I've ever heard in my life.
They're not hate tweets. You're right about that. There's no question. Yeah, I don't really understand why people get that hate thing. Why is hate so important now, Andy? Do you have any idea?
I really don't know. It's a Pavlovian response. It's classical conditioning for dumb people.
So, but it's for stupid people. You're absolutely right.
Yes, it is.
No, I agree with you 100%. But what triggers it all?
Like I said, it's conditioning. They're taught that hate is the worst thing in the whole world. And they're taught that as soon as you hear the word hate, your mind should just shut down and you should start vibrating uncontrollably.
So why so much hate speech right now?
I don't think there is. I think.
Oh, God, you haven't been following the news then, I'll tell you that. There's tons of hate speech.
Yeah, there's a lot of hate speech. But as you guys were saying, with the Taylor Swift thing, Brittany, not a very hateful
I don't even know who she is.
text. It's Patrick Mahomes' wife. But I think it would be awkward to have these circulate and then be brought to Taylor's attention because Taylor Swift is definitely the person that has kind of played the victim.
Oh, has she really?
A lot in her career.
Yeah, I haven't been on social media in, I think, 11 years now, 11, 12 years, something like that.
Yeah.
I gave up alcohol and the tweeting and posting and Facebook and all that stuff the same day.
Yeah. Giving up Twitter is probably for the best.
Probably a pretty healthy decision.
Yeah. Oh, and Andy, we have the Bialki ad picture still up.
Oh, yeah, we got to put the picture up. Yeah.
Right. There we go.
There you have it right there, ladies and gentlemen. So, so Brittany Mahomes 10 years ago. So who cares?
Oh, yeah, she was 17 years old.
Yeah. Nothing to see here. But I thought you were going to bring up the fact that it came out that Patrick Mahomes wears the same pair of underwear before every game.
Before every game, yeah.
His lucky red underwear.
He washes it, though.
Oh, yeah. He washes it.
A lot of athletes are like that, though.
Yeah.
A lot of superstition going on.
My lucky underwear. That kind of
I don't know that I would ever be that superstitious.
No.
Or as Brittany would say, I am a little stitious. But
one of the great lines of all time. I'm not superstitious, but I am a little stitious. That's a great line. No question about it. So, I don't know. It's whatever. Andy, I want to run this by you. Because, I think you were sitting. Did you hear us sitting in the lobby? You're talking about people. They claim that pets do not actually make us happy.
I didn't get here.
Let me run this by you because they're saying now that a study has found that pets don't actually make people happy. Do you think that's true?
No,
I don't either.
I think they don't necessarily make you happy, but nothing necessarily makes you happy. That's the thing. Like if we're talking about something that is guaranteed to make anyone happy no matter what, that thing doesn't exist.
No, that's true.
Right. And I think if you have depression, you don't just give them a puppy and now all their depression goes away.
No. But I mean, Ethan is 2 years old. Daisy. He calls out to Daisy all the time.
Yes, he does.
So it makes him
dogs.
He loves dogs.
And he loves cats too.
Oh, he does. Oh, that's right.
Yep.
You only have one cat now?
Yep. Just the one.
God, how old did the last cat live to be?
Hobbs was 17 or 18.
17 or 18 years old. That's a pretty good life, don't you think?
Decent run for a cat.
I would have to agree with you. Now, that cat was a very even keel, wonderful cat.
He was, yeah. He liked to just chill.
Always. He used to travel with us. You remember that?
He went to Florida many, many times in his life.
We took him to Florida.
He loved living in Florida. Even though he never went outside, he never left the house or anything. He just liked being in Florida.
No, he did. There's no question.
Why.
No question about it. I don't understand this story at all, but I'm reading it anyway. I'm glad I don't live next to this guy, but kudos for creativity. A 64-year-old man in Iowa named Doug Kustra is facing charges for painting his neighbor's plants. What inspires you to paint your neighbor's plants?
Is the Mad Hatter?
Maybe it is, yeah. He got arrested on Friday. Police say there's security footage of him walking into onto the property, applying paint to some of their plants outside. They estimate the plants were worth about $40. It's not clear. Now, would that kill a plant if you painted it?
If you painted it enough, depending on the kind of paint as well, probably yes.
Because it couldn't breathe, right?
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. So that's what the problem is, yeah. It's not clear if he's got beef with them or not. I think they meant a beef with them or not. I don't know who's typing this up today, but they're not doing a very good job at the wire, I'll tell you that.
Got beef is a phrase.
Yeah, you can say that.
Yeah.
He's got beef?
Yep.
Yeah. You're beefing with somebody? Yeah.
Oh, God.
You gotta be hip with it and wow. If
Why
you're
don't you go back to high school? What do you think of that action? It's not the first time that he's vandalized someone's property in a creative way. Earlier this year, he got arrested 3 times in the span of 6 days. We don't know if it was the same neighbor or not, but back in May, he dismantled someone's porch lights, turned on the spigots outside to flood their yard. What an asshole. Wow. Does it say ever why he would do this?
It just sounds like a jackass, basically.
Kind of does. Cops think he also removed a bunch of flags that were part of a Memorial Day display. Then he trespassed on someone else's property, broke a motion sensor light, and did the water spigot thing again. He's been dealing with multiple charges for all that stuff. Now he's facing additional charges for painting his neighbor's plants, trespassing, and criminal mischief. Why the hell would you do that? Oh, there's a mugshot. I'm clicking on the mugshot right now.
Look like he might enjoy meth.
I'm going to find it. Oh, does he look like an asshole? Oh, God.
Got the look?
He's definitely got the look. First of all, he thinks he's Jesus. He's got the very long beard and the long hair, and he's got that whole, oh, my God, this guy's a disaster.
Well, then.
I don't want to unplug this, but look at this guy, Andy.
Oh, yeah.
And then Evan.
Oh, yeah. He looks.
He goes, oh, yeah.
He looks like the guy that's going to flood your yard. And
ladies and gentlemen, there's your guy right there.
What's the thing about like unkempt beards are never a good sign.
Never.
No. You can grow out your beard as long as you want, but you have to like do stuff to it. You have to wash it and brush it and clip it. But if you just like let your facial hair grow without ever touching it, that just makes you look like an insane,
yeah, you just
stabby man.
You just gave up on everything. You're like, it's too much work to shave it, and then it's also too much work for the upkeep to keep it looking nice.
But yeah, just like brush it every so often. But he also, same with the hair. It's like he hasn't cut or brushed his hair in quite a while as well. Also, not a good sign.
He's too busy painting plants and flooding yards.
That's very weird. It's like if you're gonna try to kill someone's plant, just cut it.
Yeah,
much faster, a lot less effort. It's cheaper.
Yep. Just tear it out by the roots.
Why paint it?
I don't know. Well, the guy's nuts. You can tell by looking at him. The guy's nuts as hell. I got to run this by both of you because I didn't follow it closely. What did Rapinoe mean when she said, the fact that I got hurt and missed my last game is proof there is no God?
It means she believes that she's the center of the universe.
Yes.
She's a narcissist.
Is she really that egotistical?
We've known she's a narcissist for a very long time.
Oh, really? Yeah. I don't know anything about her. So how do you know about her? Just from the news or something?
She was on the news for a very long time saying that she deserves more money because she's such a wonderful soccer player. She doesn't get enough.
Yeah. Well, and because there was the women's soccer team was underpaid And originally they were underpaid because they didn't negotiate a good enough like collective bargaining agreement deal. So, and then their sport wasn't making as much money as men's soccer.
Well, that's the thing. They don't make as much money, so they shouldn't get as much money. It makes sense.
But then women's soccer started to grow exponentially, and the men's team kind of sank down because they were terrible. And so the women's team, I don't know if it's still true today, but at one point they were generating much more income than the men and still getting paid less. And so it flipped. And then Megan Rapinoe was kind of the head of, or the face of, hey, we should all get paid more. And so then she takes now full responsibility for the successes of women's soccer.
Yeah, she's like, I am the law, basically.
Yeah, and it's kind of bled over into more women's rights issues that aren't related to soccer. And so a lot of people don't like her because she doesn't, stick to sports or shut up and dribble type.
Oh, she gay or something?
I believe she's
so
gay,
that's what she likes to talk about that as well.
Yep. And she's not the best women's soccer player, I believe.
Oh,
so
she's not?
It's not like she's David Beckham or Messi or Ronaldo or something like that on the men's side. She's just more known for her off the field opinions and saying
so she's a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
Not a shock. Did you see, and I don't know where the hell it came from because I just happened to look up at the TV. There was the soccer game going on, and there's this big mad dash toward the blue goal or whatever. And there's all of a sudden this one guy breaks free and kicks it into the goal for a goal, and then realized he just kicked it into the wrong goal. You hear about this?
What's the result of the story?
Kicks it into the wrong goal, ties the game up, then go down to the other end and scores the winning goal anyway.
Oh, I didn't see that. No.
How cool is that?
Which, depending on what team he plays for, he probably saved his own life, because if it was out in Brazil or something where they're fanatical, they're probably ready to go burn his house down.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing. He scores an own goal and then comes back and scores a real goal.
Yeah. I always love the own goals where they pass it to the goalie and the goalie very nonchalantly tries to stop the ball and then it just rolls under his leg or something like that. Yeah.
I've seen it. Who's a hell of a soccer player was Tino Lettieri.
That's what you're saying. But then he chose to go to a hockey school rather than a soccer school, right?
Well, no, that was his son.
Oh, that was his son? Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, Vinny Lettieri is the hockey player now, but Tino, his father, he's from Bari, Italy. He was a hell of a soccer player. I think he was mostly a goalie, if I remember right.
There's a lot of talent in that family.
Oh, other than Louis, he kind of drags them down. Louis Nanny.
Louis Nanny, yeah, he's the least accomplished.
Exactly.
When it's all said and done.
We got to take a break. Be right back. Kristyn Burtt will join us right after this.
In a world that's racing a mile a minute, a split-second distraction can change everything. I'm Mike Bryant from Bradshaw & Bryant. Every day we see too many people, heads buried in their phones, unaware of the dangers they're in. Texting and driving isn't just reckless, it's playing Russian roulette with your life and the lives of others. In just 4 seconds of distraction, you've driven the length of a football field. Is there any text message that's worth your life, that's worth the lives of others? I've been fighting for the rights of the injured for over 30 years. But I'd rather you never meet me in a courtroom. So hear me now. Stop texting and driving. Pay attention. Value your lives and the lives around you. And if you won't, know this. At Bradshaw & Bryant, we're relentless. We won't back down. We bring justice to those that need it.
Find Bradshaw & Bryant, personal injury attorneys at minnesotapersonalinjury.com.
With Mike Bryant on your side, seeking justice for the injured. Bradshaw & Bryant.
Recently, Jim Paul of Valley Buick GMC was contacted by a company that does on-site sales. Jim was confused.
Wait, they don't know anything about us, our staff, our reputation, most importantly, our customers.
Hey, pal, no problem. We do them all over the country. Get the manager off the roof sale, inflatable gorilla sale, and our favorite, the 13-hour sale with a giant clock that goes to 13. Urgency, baby. We bring our crew because, well, your people are, let's just say, a little laid back.
And the pricing?
Nothing special, sport.
But Jim thought, we price competitively every day. Our prices are special. We definitely don't need these guys. But sale does convey some urgency, so we made a bold decision for his fine dealerships.
Announcing the Valley Buick GMC 365-day sale. And we can even extend it a couple years or so.
I got the air dancer guy, scratch offs, plastic keys, bubble machine.
Valley Buick GMC in Apple Valley or Hastings or valleycardealers.com. Hurry.
Why should your business bank with North American Banking Company? Here's Landon and Gavin Miller of D&B Plating.
I've always been impressed with their speed of answers to our questions, and that has allowed us to expand and capitalize on opportunities in the market.
North American Banking Company has never made us feel like a number. They've always treated us as a partner.
For more information about North American Banking Company, go to nabankco.com or stop by any one of their Twin Cities locations. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
The Tom Barnard Show is proud to have partners like North American Banking Company, Bradshaw & Bryant, and attorney and advertiser Dave Bielke.
I've been advertising on Tom Barnard shows for years. I like Tom, not just because he's a good guy, but because the ads I run on his show bring me new clients that are hurt at work and need legal help. Tommy B works for me.
If you'd like to find out more about growing your business with the Tom Barnard Show, go to tombarnardshow.com, keyword partner.
Why do I have to put up with you on a daily basis looking so happy?
That's your fault. You invited me 5 days a week. I'm here 5 days a week.
Band-Aid.
I like that hoodie.
Oh, yeah. So here, let me show it to everyone so they can see it. I got this through my friend Britt Stewart, who was on Dancing with the Stars. She has a charitable philanthropic group called Share the Movement, which gives scholarships to Black and Brown dancers who oftentimes wouldn't have the opportunity to participate in the art or the sport, however you want to call it. They partnered with Band-Aid, and Band-Aid brand is finally making Band-Aids of all skin tones instead of just having that one. So this was kind of a...
You've been doing that for years.
Yeah, they've been doing that for ages.
This is one of their big
launch.
Yeah, this is one of their big launches.
Are they going to go the opposite spectrum and go for like extra pale people to have Band-Aids for those as well?
Not a lot of money in that.
I need that.
Honky aid.
But I have the whole array of colors, so
Yeah.
I love them.
Yeah, I mean, there have always been, well, maybe not always, but
No,
many,
not
many
always.
years, many,
It's
many,
only
many.
been in the last few years.
I remember him from at least 20 years ago.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
So I always remember just this plain whatever colored Band-Aids or the blue ones.
But yeah, they've always had like patterns and crazy colors and stuff like that.
But the array of skin tones have not been available until recently, and now they're available in all of the, the flexible fabrics, not just like the plastic ones that are uncomfortable to wear.
Band-Aid. You don't like Band-Aids?
I don't like the ones that are I don't know if it's like plastic or whether it's latex. It's really uncomfortable, but the flexible fabric makes such a huge difference.
Mm-hmm.
Because as a woman, we have to wear a lot of Band-Aids on our heels because of blisters. So,
oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I got to be honest with you, though. The old Band-Aids you're talking about?
Mm-hmm.
It was not my skin tone. So if they were made for only
it's
honkies.
Never anyone's skin tone.
But why would they need to change it if it wasn't anybody's skin tone? Why change it?
Well, I think it's more making it for skin tone. So if you are somebody that has to, like if you're wearing heels and it sticks out, you just don't want, if it's a blue Band-Aid or a Snoopy print, you'd want it to more blend in and not be as noticeable.
Yeah, there's a lot of situations. We're also seeing like athletic tape, like gymnasts. Simone Biles was wearing like, let's say, my skin tone tape, and it affects the lines of what you're doing. They're now making athletic tape that matches your skin tone, so it doesn't affect like the line of what she does. If you're someone that's on the red carpet, you don't want that to show off. And it's the same thing in dance. Like they're making tights of all colors too. They've always made them, but they've always forced dancers of any skin tone to wear what they call ballet pink. But ballet pink is based off of my skin tone, not based off of Tevin's skin tone.
Mm-hmm.
And
that would not look good in ballet pink tights.
Right. It looks weird. And they're finally like allowing dancers to all wear what matches their actual skin tone. They're finally making point shoes that match skin tone because Black and brown dancers, I don't know if people knew this, they were taking those pink point shoes and taking a bottle of foundation from like CVS, like buying your like Maybelline or whatever, and actually putting makeup on their shoes to dye it their actual skin tone. Now dance wear companies are finally making inclusive colors for everybody.
We're worried
That's why
about
they do it.
Band-Aid colors. This has gone way too far.
It has not gone way too far because there are, it's not. I mean, it's not, because for something for my job, for someone who's an athlete, for someone who's in the arts, these things actually matter because your appearance is part of what you walk out there on the red carpet or something else like that. So,
and like the everyday person, I don't think that I would take the time, like if, I have a cut on my arm, like if I was going to get a Band-Aid, I don't really care if it matches my skin tone or not. But yeah, I can see if you're on camera and now I have something I need to cover up, it's better than now everybody, rather than listening to what I'm saying, they're just staring at the Band-Aid that I have on my neck or something.
Absolutely. And I have all arrays of colors and I wear all arrays of colors, but I'm not going to wear the really dark complexion tone Band-Aid if I'm about to interview someone and I've got a cut here. It's going to be, that's all people are going to watch.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm not upset by it.
I love it. And I'll tell you, a lot of people appreciate it.
Do they really?
They do.
Yeah, I couldn't care less. Like, you don't like my Band-Aid?
I wish I had a problem that lame.
Tom, you have to remember this doesn't affect you and it doesn't affect your job.
Right.
For someone like me, it would affect my job. And a lot of people I know, it affects their job or their appearance of what they need to do.
Mm-hmm. No, listen to you. Yes, she's right, Tom.
She has a point. Evan knows I'm not wrong.
He's a disaster.
He is not a disaster. He's a smart man.
Oh, God. Because he agrees with me. He's a genius.
Yep.
All right.
But anyway, if anyone wants to check out more, sharethemovement.org. It's a great organization and tons of young dancers who wouldn't have the opportunity to dance or go to those expensive dance conventions now get the opportunity to do so thanks to Band-Aid and Share the Movement.
Okay, I'm sorry, but the next time I get hurt, I'm not going with black people stitching. It's going to have to be honky tone.
Well, that would make sense.
Yeah, it's time.
And would that be a form of blackface if you just showed up with a bunch of
black finger?
A bunch of African American Band-Aids.
I don't know. I have to think about that. All right, what's going on in Hollywood?
Oh my goodness. Well, have you guys, I don't know how big this story is. There's like a huge Hollywood murder in my neighborhood.
What?
Yes. So let me kind of lay this out, but this is like playing out and it's really, really weird. So Sam Haskell III used to be one of these big high-powered agents here in Hollywood. Okay. He then moved on to the Miss America organization. He lives on the East Coast now, actually in the South, I should say, but he's produced movies with Dolly Parton. He represented Kathy Lee Gifford. I mean, he represented a lot of big people back in the day at certain points. Even George Clooney was repped by him.
Oh.
His son, Sam Haskell IV, has been charged with decapitating and dismembering his wife.
What?
And his in-laws.
Oh my God.
That's not even, I mean, that's like horrible. It gets even worse though.
What is his name?
His name is Sam Haskell IV. That is the one who has been charged with 3 special circumstances murder charges because
pretty special.
Yeah, because we haven't found the in-laws. Only the wife's torso has been found.
Oh my God.
So this took place in Tarzana. So the murder allegedly took place in Tarzana, which is the town over from me. So after the murders took place, he called some day workers and said, "Hey, can you pick up some rocks in my yard and get rid of them?" So the 2 guys came and they picked it up and they were like, "Oh, it feels weird." They drove about a block away. They got $500. And then they were like, it felt soggy and soft and squishy. No, like literally that was their like description of it. And they said, "This doesn't feel right." They opened one of the bags and saw a belly button. It still gets worse. And then the guys drive back and they say, "We can't do this job." They hand the money back. They put all of the bags in the driveway. They drive away and they call the cops. The cops are like, "Not sure we really believe you." Like,
really?
Because it's day workers, remember? But the cops do come by. The bags are no longer in the in the driveway, and that's because Sam Haskell IV has piled them into his Tesla and taken we at least know where the torso is for his wife, taken that torso and dumped it in my neighborhood at a strip mall where I get my tacos in a dumpster.
Do you have any tacos today?
I know. It just makes me sad because it's like there's like a lot of nice businesses in that particular strip mall, and it hurts them. And he's seen taking the bag and dumping it into the dumpster, and it was an unhoused person who happened to be rifling through the dumpster looking for recyclables because we get 10 cents for them, and discovered the body or the torso and called the cops. And the cops were like, I wonder if that has something to do with the day workers calling and doing the right thing, and maybe we should investigate this further. And sure enough.
Why would you try to pawn off a dead body on strangers? That's just like probably the worst possible thing you can do if you don't want to.
My thought is that likely they are undocumented workers, and you can sit there and blame them for the murders.
Damn Canadians.
Damn. But he obviously is not super smart because, I mean, listen, there was evidence all over his house. He didn't plan this out. He hasn't been watching enough Dateline to really like think this out. He didn't seem very smart about it, but it is one of those situations. It's kind of like gripped our whole neighborhood, and it's just so sad. They have 3 kids. The 3 kids are okay, but they're young. They're like 13 and 8 and 6. And they were at school while all of this was happening. So and this is probably going to be a story that not only everyone's probably trying to buy the rights to right now, to make it into a Netflix something or other docuseries. But it's just really sad. And I want to say, ironically enough, my friend used to work for Sam Haskell III. When he lived here. He lived right here in Encino, and he wrote a book, and I went to the Paley Center to see the reading of the book, and he was really entrenched. He's married to a former Miss Mississippi, and went immediately after he retired from agent life to the Miss America organization. And I don't know if everyone remembers this, but a couple years ago, Miss America had a big kerfuffle, and he was the one who got fired from the organization because he was the one writing emails saying the women were like fat or unpleasant, which is really against what Miss America is supposed to be about in terms of like uplifting and empowering women. So he got fired from that, but obviously he hasn't said anything, but this should be, just because of all of the connections to Hollywood, this will probably be a big story for a while.
So we don't know why he actually did it.
No, there are TikTok videos out there. He does not appear mentally well. Shocker. He obviously tried to have his hand in Hollywood, struggled after having a very successful father, of course, and had an obsession. And this is another thing we need to think about with weapons, military items. He was obsessed with it just was one of those things you're just like, oh, look at this. He has all of this obsession with weapons and armory and swords that some of the other neighbors were like, I wouldn't let my kids go over there because I knew that even his wife was concerned about it.
God, kills his wife and her parents.
Her parents were Chinese nationals, didn't even speak English. They were living with the family. Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Super sad.
So this is how far from your house?
I mean, I can walk to where the body was found, the torso was found. His home, though, is probably about I'm probably going to say about 3 or 4 miles up the road.
Jeez, yeah. So that's very close. Might as well be right in your backyard.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. It's so, I mean, everyone is just kind of like on edge. I mean, obviously no one's in danger now, but it's just unsettling when it's normally a very quiet neighborhood.
Yeah. And you mentioned kind of jokingly like, oh, somebody's going to try and buy the rights in whatever. So what is that process like because obviously you want to respect the right of people to grieve, but now you're also going to ask them like, hey, I want to make a documentary about that. Is there a kind of a standard practice that is respected in LA, or then on top of that, are there people that are known for kind of being skeezy about going in too soon?
There's going to be twofold on this. There's going to be probably the filmmaker that has known the Haskell family for a long time, or has known the wife's family for a long time, thinking, you know what, let's secure your rights now. We'll just wait. You got to grieve. You got to go through all of this, and we'll get your story out there. And then there's going to be the vultures that are just going to jump on and see who they can talk to. Like, what sort of like surface friends can we talk to that knew the Haskells? Who knew all the players and all this, and we can cobble something together cheaply and quickly and get it out there. And there will probably, I'm going to guess, because this has happened a lot, Hulu will probably do a documentary with one side, Netflix will do a documentary with the other side, and then Lifetime will come together and do the scripted version of it. Or it gets like the real Hollywood treatment and gets kind of like that Dear John kind of situation and gets a more prestigious, like Emmy type of project. But I mean, it's pretty gruesome. And so, I mean, you kind of want to let it cool a little bit, I think, if you wanted to do that prestige project on it, but it's just super sad.
But is this a dream come true for you? Are you true crime in your backyard?
No, I mean, for my it's not. And honestly, it's one of those things, like when it hits really close to you, you're like, I don't even want to go by Paquito Mas, where I love my nachos right now, because it just feels, it's a graveyard right now. It just feels uncomfortable. Yeah. But my poor husband had to listen to it. I was like, you need to hear this whole story. And he was like, no, like every little detail that I kept adding to it, he goes, this is horrible. I'm like, it's awful.
Yeah, decapitation is also not fast. People in movies, it looks, because if you got a guy with a sword, he's gonna swing at your neck, your head comes off. That's how it is. In real life, it is not anything like that. It takes a very, very long time to do.
Well, if you know what you're doing.
Well, I mean, yeah.
Well,
if you got a scalpel and a bone saw, sure. But this guy had a dull machete. So and that suggests either a lot of rage, or, well, actually, that's really all it suggests, honestly.
Yeah.
So it was very personal and very targeted.
Yeah, a lot of rage, or he just got done watching like Dexter or something like that.
Ooh, yeah, really.
That's a good show.
Yeah, so I'd say this guy probably wasn't a danger to the general public. He seemed like he was very, very upset at. I don't know why he would have killed the in-laws. Although we don't have proof he killed the in-laws, right? They're just kind
of. We don't have their bodies; they are missing. But he has been charged with a special circumstance of their murder.
Right.
And they haven't found the head or the arms or legs or anything.
Only found the torso of his wife. That is it. Jesus. So my guess is that the body parts have been spread around dumpsters around the valley.
Mm-hmm.
He was found, and Ralph, you would know this, he was found up at the Topanga Mall. That's where he was arrested. So
man,
he was at the Village, actually, the newer one.
Yeah, right. Yeah, this is a quiet community. That's why you live there.
Quiet. Yep. Tarzana, Encino, Woodland Hills. This is a family community. And, even though the homes are expensive, it's not like the big flashy homes. These are people who all work in the industry, and oftentimes you do know your neighbors in these type of neighborhoods. So a lot of people are unsettled by this.
Oh, Brentwood.
I have a question. Why don't they just leave, or say, you need to move out, honey, or I'll move out, or what? Why do we go all the way to murder?
Well, we don't know. She might have done something that made him upset. He might have been extremely unwell. He might have been on drugs. There's a lot of different
all
reasons.
three.
Yeah. Or all three.
Yeah. And there are some sort of indications that she was possibly a victim. I mean, in the end, she is a victim of domestic violence, but that it was ongoing. And this may have been the escalation point where there's no return, and I feel like we've been talking about it a lot, the Keke Palmer story is in the news too. And I hope people really understand that it's just not easy to get out. And, there's a lot of financial considerations, and there is a belief, because they were living in a $2.5 million home, but neither of them had $2.5 million type of careers. And so it is assumed that they might have been getting some help from Sam Haskell III while they were living in that house.
Why do these women never have a brother?
I don't know if she had a brother or not.
That's what I'm saying. But I mean, I got to be honest with you. I have two sisters. Nobody ever touched my sisters. I can promise you that.
I mean, my brother's in Miami. What would he do if you know what I mean?
True. That's
Yeah,
a good point. Yeah, that's a good
they live,
point.
and and she was from China, so maybe she does have a brother, and he lives in China, and that's obviously not
maybe,
convenient to get to Los
That's a good
Angeles.
point. But yeah, so he abused her many, many times and then ended up
There
dismembering.
are allegations that there have been some hints from her friends that but she was very private about it, which is not uncommon, and that she didn't want to talk about it and out her and I think probably some of her concern too is she had her parents living with her.
Yeah.
So the concern is like, how do you pick up and leave with 3 kids, 2 in-laws, one of whom had just had a stroke right at the pandemic and was recovering, and yourself? That's a lot of people to all of a sudden try and find housing for in Los Angeles.
So was it her husband a big guy?
He's not that big.
He's not.
No.
So the father-in-law is not big either, then I'm assuming.
Well, the size doesn't really matter when you have a gun, is the thing.
No, but I'm just wondering why he let this guy beat up on his daughter all the time.
That's what I'm saying. If he wanted to do something, he could have done something, but he might not have known, for example, or maybe he didn't want to go to prison for life.
Yeah, and I doubt he was in a situation where he knew 100%. Like maybe he just saw them argue and didn't know that it was a physical thing, or if he's an older guy and maybe smaller than him, it's not like he could physically.
Sam Haskell lives on the East Coast. He's not even here on the West Coast anymore. So that's another thing. He's not living. I know Sam Haskell III, which is the dad, lived in Encino for many, many years, decades, but he did sell his home when he retired from working at William Morris and then moved to, I believe he was in like the Mississippi area again and producing films and working for Miss America out of there. So until he got fired from Miss America.
Why did he get fired?
Because of the whole scandal with Miss America in calling women behind the scenes overweight and
that's right. You made the reference to that earlier.
Yeah.
How fat they were?
Yeah, I mean, it was crazy because he's the man in charge about empowering women and giving them scholarships and getting them educated. And then there he is like, and listen, it is not uncommon for a Miss America who is dieted to fit into like a swimsuit for the pageant to then go on the road for a year where you don't have a regular schedule and you're eating out all the time. It's natural for anyone to put on some weight. It just is. So for him to be, talking about their diet and that they look fat is really weird.
God, what a weird story that is.
It's a really weird story. And Ralph, I don't know if you ever ran into Sam Haskell when you were living out here or heard of him, because he was one of the biggest agents in the 80s and 90s.
Right. No, my kids weren't at that level.
But even just in,
you hearsay, you heard.
Yeah, you hear around.
William Morris, certain they were the tops, really.
Yeah. And he called himself the nicest guy in Hollywood too. That was
God.
It was like the Southern, like I'm the nicest guy in Hollywood.
It's never a good sign.
It's never a good sign. It was like when I lived in Minnesota and people would be like, I'm Minnesota nice. And I'm like,
no, you're
gotcha.
not.
Oh, that's the worst thing they can say is I'm Minnesota nice.
I knew. I was like, they're not going to be my friend.
Oh, no.
Calling yourself a good person, it's just such a, it's a red flag for sure. Because
it's like waving all over the place.
It's like, why do you feel the need to let us know what a good person you are?
Yeah. It's like giving yourself your own nickname. Like, oh yeah, everybody calls me this. Nobody calls you that.
Exactly.
Oh, speaking of which, I'm A Dog from now on.
A Dog.
Not Andy, A Dog. By the way, why are you torturing me with your beverage?
Oh, my San Pellegrino.
I love that flavor. That's a great
This
flavor.
is blood orange today.
Yeah, the top really number one flavor.
So good. I'm just trying to stay hydrated,
Blood oranges are just one of the best things. They're a sort of cross between a grapefruit and an orange.
Phenomenal.
Why does every orange have a gross name? Have you ever noticed that? Blood orange, navel orange.
What about the cuties?
Not so bad, I suppose.
Cuties.
That's right. Why aren't there like cuties flavored San Pellegrinos?
Isn't there a tangerine flavor?
Just tangerine.
There is, yes.
But they just need to call it cuties.
All right.
Oh, God, here we go.
Sponsored by Kristyn Burtt. Yeah.
There you go.
All right. We only got a couple of minutes. You have any positive news?
Yeah, CBS has put out their schedule, so we at least know when we're going to get some fresh new content, which I think is kind of exciting. And this is probably now that they've released it, let me just pull it up. We'll at least kind of get an idea of probably what ABC and NBC will be doing, as well as Fox. But their official premiere date, so they're using the Super Bowl as that like kickoff for the mid-season. So Sunday, February 11th is the Super Bowl. They're going to be premiering a new show, Tracker. And then beginning on Monday, February 12th, that is when you're going to start seeing the unrolling of all the shows from NCIS and FBI and SWAT and Ghosts and Young Sheldon. So it's good news that we will finally start seeing some of that new content with everyone getting back to work. But you're also seeing that it's going to take 6 weeks into the new year for that to really happen.
Isn't that amazing? It does take forever. No question.
It takes some time.
By the way, I just looked. It is right now. It is sunny, and a little windy. It's 60 degrees.
It's going to get warmer too.
Yeah, like 66, right?
Yep.
Something like that.
We're 63 right now.
Look at that.
Well,
But our high today is 76.
Oh, nice.
And sunny.
And sunny.
Too hot.
It's not too hot. Too hot is 101 in the valley.
Yeah, but LA may have the perfect weather in the United States. It never is that cold. It frosts up in the valley, but not that bad. And you know, it's really relatively dry up in the valley. When it's that hot, it's dry. And then you get up in Encino. Do you get the marine layer coming up and over in the afternoon?
Sometimes we do.
Canyons, yeah. So they'll cool it down at night many times. So.
Yep.
Well, there you have it. All right, sister. We'll talk to you. I hope you sound like you're feeling better.
Yeah, I feel much better today, and I feel like the congestion's leaving. I got COVID, Ralph. I was like, the guy in 33A on my American Airlines flight. I'm never going to let that guy forget it, since he was wet coughing and sneezing all over us for 5 hours.
So he poisoned you.
He poisoned probably three rows of us.
Is when you wear a mask. When you're sick and you have to go out in public, you wear a mask. It's the polite thing to do.
Or maybe the smart thing when someone's coughing up a lung like that, maybe you should just grab your mask and just put it on and just hope for the
guys,
best.
I had my mask on.
That's the thing.
Good.
Well, that's the thing. It's if he's coughing all over every surface, you'd have to basically just put your hands in your pockets and not take them out until you're gone.
I have a feeling it went in through my eyeball. I mean, he was spraying everywhere. It was disgusting. And I thought like I was safe because I was like, I kept my head down most of the flight. And then as we were standing up to exit, he was like, achoo. I mean, he was not using an elbow, a hand, a tissue, nothing. And it sprayed. And I was like, I'm dead man walking.
That's not good. Well, feel better, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
Thanks a lot, Kristyn Burtt. Ladies and gentlemen, take a break. Be right back and wrap things up right after this.
This is the Tom Barnard Show. Listen live at tombarnardshow.com or on the Tom Barnard Show app.
Tom here, and I just read a success story from MN Fat Loss client Elizabeth, who just completed the program. Elizabeth writes, I'm a 54-year-old woman who has struggled with losing weight. I had almost constant heartburn, trouble sleeping, brain fog. I tried counting calories, eating bars and shakes, and several other programs in which I would lose 5 to 10 pounds after months of struggling. After 60 days of the MN Fat Loss program, I was down 25 pounds. MN Fat Loss had really empowered me to believe that I can control my eating and my weight without having to sacrifice foods that I like. If you're thinking about finally committing to improving your health, this is the time to start. You won't regret your investment in yourself. It's so easy to see if MN Fat Loss is a good fit for you. They offer a free phone consultation to learn about the program. They also have virtual options to help you if you live far away, which I think is a brilliant idea. To schedule that free phone consultation, go to mnfatloss.com. The only thing you have to lose is that unwanted weight. That's www.mnfatloss.com. I cannot wait to hear about your success story. And please let them know that Tom sent you. You need to know a guy for your auto repairs, legal issues, banking, and more. The same goes for investment advice. You need a guy to help you be successful, someone you can trust, who gets results. Well, I got a guy for you. Josh Arnold. Josh gives you straight talk, not sugar-coated advice about your financial situation. Josh has seen it all when it comes to economic and market conditions, and Josh can make sure that your retirement objectives match your investments. Do yourself a favor and call Josh now for a no-obligation 48-minute evaluation. You've got nothing to lose, and you'll get a different point of view for your investments. Call Josh at 952-925-5608. That is 952-925-5608. You'll be glad that you did. And tell him his guy, Tom, sent you.
Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant, LLC, a security investment advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments involve risk. All comments and opinions are Josh Arnold's and do not constitute investment advice. Tom Barnard is a paid endorser.
This is Bob Sansevier, and I want to tell you about Dave Bialke from Bialke Law. Dave represented my wife, Mary, when she had a significant workplace injury. She was very happy with the job Dave did. If you have a work-related injury and have Dave represent you, I'm betting you'll be happy too. Dave is a down-to-earth guy. He grew up in northern Minnesota, rides a Harley, and worked various jobs doing concrete, electrical, plumbing, roofing, and carpentry work. Dave works for people with work-related injuries. If you work construction, or anywhere for that matter, and you're hurt or even just hurting, you should talk to Dave. Let's face it, our bodies wear out. If your body is worn out from work, if your knees or back or shoulders hurt from things you do at work, do what Mary did. Call Dave and talk to him about it at Bialke Law to set up a free initial consultation. The number to call is 763-571-2410. That's 763-571-2410. Or visit bialkelaw.com. That's BIALKE law.com.
We are back, ladies and gentlemen, kind of wrapping things up on the morning show. Family show kicking off in about 10 minutes, somewhere in there, right?
Yep.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. I was just looking at some local news. Local headline: Minneapolis considers $1 million contract with consultant for its Beyond Policing plan. The hell does that mean?
Sounds like it's going to end poorly.
Yes. Sounds like an eye roll.
Is this one of those things where they don't send police out, but they send out counselors to try to talk people down and try to?
Yeah, or Beyond Police sounds like, maybe they're trying to some sort of extra training, or rather than just being a traditional police officer, you're also I don't know,
social worker.
This isn't even an actual, it's just a task force.
That's it.
Oh, okay. They're appointing a committee to study the problem.
$1 million over 2 years, $500,000 a year to talk about how to fix things.
That's laughable.
Wow.
Only here. I just don't understand that at all. It just, why? So they're going to spend, what'd you say, $1 million on talking about what we should do to improve a problem.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Minneapolis continues to decay. Crime continues to go up.
Mm-hmm. Well, because I visited my brother. I didn't visit him. I talked to my brother yesterday for the first time in 20 years. This morning on the way into work, I drove by the old neighborhood and kind of parked there on 14th and Bryant, because that's where the house, it's an empty lot now. I think it's like a practice field for North High or something. But I just kind of sat there and looked at that was where he walked out the door and went into the United States Marine Corps, was in that particular spot. And after hearing his voice and seeing him in a wheelchair with the air hose up his nose and all that stuff, I was just thinking all the way back to he was 18 years old when he walked out the door of that house. I'll never forget it.
Yep.
And he really never came back. I mean, he came back, but it wasn't the same Terry.
No. And to go into that war specifically, and probably all the horrific things he had to see and probably do, you're not going to go into that as a naive 18-year-old kid and come out with that same kind of life.
Yeah, he didn't. That's very true.
Wouldn't that be an interesting twist of fate? You have like some edgy kid go off to war and he comes back and he's like, "Heidi ho, everybody."
He's in a better
Vietnam
mood.
was lovely.
Well, actually, he got to spend some time in Japan, which he liked that. He liked being in Japan.
Why was he stationed in Japan? Just like anti-Vietnam watch?
I suppose. Well, he was he got extended, so he was in the Marine Corps for almost 5 years.
Well, I know Japan, I don't think has an army. We are Japan's army.
That's correct.
Yeah. So yeah, they probably just like defending Japan from potential Vietnam incursion.
I suppose.
Or they could have been an R&R, Okinawa. I mean, there's a lot of.
That's where he was in Okinawa.
Oh yeah, Okinawa is a good place to be stationed. Although they're not too happy about it usually. The Okinawans, I mean.
Oh no, they're not. That's absolutely true.
Like that's kind of an overarching theme for anywhere we're stationed overseas.
Yeah.
Usually, people aren't happy when the U.S. government deploys some troops into their area.
Well, the thing about Okinawa is it's very quiet, very peaceful, and very old.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of people there who still probably remembered World War II or even fought in World War II.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden we have this military base and a bunch of U.S. soldiers are all over the place, you know.
Which was established during World War II or after World War II.
Exactly. So these people just got done fighting and now the Americans are basically lording over them. Not very happy about it.
You know that line I said to you earlier, Tevin, and you laughed about it? You know where that actually came from?
Wait, which line?
I'll tell you the line.
Where did it come from?
So Lee Trevino's playing in a golf tournament in San Diego, California. This is 30 years ago, probably. He's playing in a golf tournament. Lee Trevino, nice Mexican boy, great golfer. He comes out after his round and the security comes over and goes, Mr. Trevino, we're sorry to tell you this. We did not see it happening and we apologize, but your car has been stolen. And my guess would be we are so close to the border. Your car is long gone and you're never going to get it back. They took it over the border and he went, goddamn Canadians. Isn't that a great line?
That is a great line.
And especially because Canadians are just so traditionally kind of like nondescript, easygoing. Like you never hear anybody have an issue with Canadians.
Polite. Yeah,
it's just goddamn Canadians
stealing my car, taking it all. So they drove it all the way through the country to get out across the border.
That's awesome.
All right, we got to take a break. We got the family hour coming up right after this.
In a world that's racing a mile a minute, a split-second distraction can change everything. I'm Mike Bryant from Bradshaw and Bryant. Every day we see too many people, heads buried in their phones, unaware of the dangers they're in. Texting and driving isn't just reckless, it's playing Russian roulette with your life and the lives of others. In just 4 seconds of distraction, you've driven the length of a football field. Is there any text message that's worth your life, that's worth the lives of others? I've been fighting for the rights of the injured for over 30 years. I'd rather you never meet me in a courtroom. So hear me now. Stop texting and driving. Pay attention. Value your lives and the lives around you. And if you won't, know this. At Bradshaw and Bryant, we're relentless. We won't back down. We bring justice to those that need it.
Find Bradshaw and Bryant, personal injury attorneys at minnesotapersonalinjury.com.
With Mike Bryant on your side, seeking justice for the injured. Bradshaw and Bryant.
Recently, Jim Paul of Valley Buick GMC was contacted by a company that does on-site sales. Jim was confused.
Wait, they don't know anything about us, our staff, our reputation, most importantly, our customers.
Hey, pal, no problem. We do them all over the country. You know, get the manager off the roof sale, inflatable gorilla sale, and our favorite, the 13-hour sale with a giant clock that goes to 13. Urgency, baby. We bring our crew because, well, your people are, let's just say, a little laid back.
And the pricing?
Nothing special, sport.
But Jim thought, we price competitively every day. Our prices are special. We definitely don't need these guys. But sale does convey some urgency, so we made a bold decision for his fine dealerships.
Announcing the Valley Buick GMC 365-day sale. And we can even extend it a couple years or so.
I got the air dancer guy, scratch-offs, plastic keys, bubble machine.
Valley Buick GMC in Apple Valley or Hastings or valleycardealers.com. Hurry.
Hello, I'm Brad Huckle, President and Chief Lending Officer at North American Banking Company.
And I'm Michael Bilski, CEO at North American Banking Company.
As a locally owned and operated community bank, we work with many multi-generational businesses.
Take Personal Care Dentistry of Roseville, for example. Dr. Walter Hunt, also known as Painless to me, has been a longtime customer of the bank since we opened the bank in 1998.
When his son Kyle was ready to join the practice, they wanted to expand quickly.
With their additional space and equipment, they now are able to see more patients each day while providing the same level of care and service.
Okay, guys, I'll take it from here. If you run a family business or any kind of business for that matter, you should be banking with Brad and Mike over at North American Banking Company. Every time I deal with them or their team, I know I'm working with experienced professional bankers. So why not bank with my banker? North American Banking Company, a better banking experience, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Tom Barnard is back. Every weekday, you'll hear Tommy B, Brittany Arneson. Yes, that Brittany Arneson. Along with Tom's pals, Kent Herbeck on Fridays, Bob Sansevier, Mike Stretch Gelfand, Tim Lammers, and from Channel 5 Eyewitness News, Chris Egert and Kristyn Burtt on entertainment and pop culture. It's Tom and the crew with opinions on news, opinions on life, opinions on entertainment, and of course, opinions on other people's stupid opinions. The Tom Barnard Show is a podcast, so you can listen when you want to listen. In the car, on the way to or from work, at home, on the job site, or wherever you need your Tommy B Show fix. Hear the show on the Tom Barnard Show app in your app store, as a podcast on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your podcasts, or see it on YouTube on the Tom Barnard Show channel.
Wow, that was a compelling little spot for you.
What do you think? Amy Daniels right there.
Man, she made me feel like I better
better
stand up straight and listen.
Download that app.
I feel like I should dress differently. I should dress more formal.
Exactly.
Where's my tux?
Yeah.
Catherine's wearing kind of a tux looking thing today. You're all dolled up. What's that all
I'm
about?
all dolled up.
Very natty.
Yeah, I got a black t-shirt on.
I got a black t-shirt
I did
on.
shower. Maybe that's what it is. That's
there
the
we
difference.
go.
I'm clean.
Oh, there you go. It's a shower deal. Ladies and gentlemen, a man who's not showered, Tim Lammers.
No, I never shower. Shower.
Forget it. I'm not doing it.
Dolled up. That seems like an older phrase that us folks use.
Yeah, I
I
don't think
don't
I've
hear
ever-
younger folks saying that.
No.
Gussied up is even older.
There you
Got all gussied up.
Where are you going all dolled up?
That's one of the reasons why I like Corner Gas so much. That Oscar, the older guy, he's got all these crazy old sayings. It just cracks you up.
I love old people sayings.
Yeah.
Like the, you know, whatever, the dolled up, gussy up, or he'll say like cut a rug or something like that every once in a while. I'm like, yep, I love those.
My dad one time said Dullsville.
Well, that's like 70s though.
Dolls.
Yeah.
60s or 70s.
Yeah, he's like, oh, you know,
man.
yeah, he's like, you know, we have so much to do down in Arizona. We come up to Minnesota, and it's kind of like Dullsville up here. And I just laughed. I laughed about that for 2 years, I think. I just love that stuff.
Well, he's what, about 90 when he said it. So there you go.
No, I don't know. He wasn't that old, but it was just Dullsville's
I
great.
don't know. He moved up here when he was 90, if not older.
No, this was before he moved out here
okay.
permanently.
Yeah, but Dullsville was a beatnik term.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So it's got to be
like
60s,
50s.
50s.
Yeah, 50s or
Beatniks were
60s.
50s?
50s, early 60s. Yeah.
Maynard G. Krebs.
Yeah, that's right.
Actually, I wonder maybe the etymology of Dullsville is known. Let's see here.
Ooh, Dullsville.
What were they saying on Cornercast? They were calling people dingleberries. I remember people saying dingleberry.
Dingleberry.
Well, Tom and I mean, I've heard other people say it, but it's usually people our age. You'll call people dinks.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know,
Oh, yeah.
Dink.
Oh yeah, that was swearing when I was a kid.
First known use of Dullsville was in 1960.
Oh, there
No.
you go.
Well,
So my dad was a hep cat.
Yeah, I guess so.
He was a hep
He
cat.
was a hipster, man. You know, one saying that I heard, and of course it originated in I think you said it's your favorite book, Colder Than a Witch's
Yep.
is a saying that's been around my whole life.
We can't say tit.
Apparently
Oh, we
not.
can say tit.
It just makes me sound like, oh, did you hear what he said? He said,
Tim's got a brand to
Oh,
uphold.
he's got to protect his brand.
Mhm.
I have no
all right,
brand.
I'll say it, colder than the witch's tit. There I go. Cancel.
There you
I did it. He said it out
Somebody
loud.
said that.
Hey, Holden Caulfield said it first, right? I mean, you know, hey.
Yeah.
J.D. Salinger, one of the greatest writers of all time, but I guess in person he was creepier than hell.
Yeah.
Really?
He used to follow women around.
Well, a lot of authors are just weird, it seems.
Yeah, they kind of are.
That's interesting. I follow this historic videos or historic moments or something on Twitter, and they talked about the fact that this one class, I don't ask me the particulars anymore because I read it a few months ago. A class wrote a bunch of famous authors, and I don't know if it was now or 50 years ago or whatever it was. And the only author that wrote back was J.D. Salinger.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
That's amazing.
Yep. And he told them that they should sit down every day and do something like write poetry or paint or do something artistic every day for 1 hour. And it will change your life. Even write a poem and rip it up and throw it in different trash cans, and it will change your entire life. The fact that you just did that.
Well, the dude had enough time to write. I mean, what did he do for all those years after writing?
Yeah, he said,
checks.
Yeah, he said he didn't go out in public anymore because he resembled an iguana.
All right, then.
I love that guy. Hell of a writer. That's all I'm saying. His 9 stories, if you've never read it, is a magnificent book.
He was a great writer.
There is a movie called A Little White Lie starring Michael Shannon. I know I've talked with you about it.
Love Michael Shannon.
About it like a J.D. Salinger type of writer that resurfaces at some small town literary festival. That's really interesting. I mean, I love that whole idea of these people like, obviously J.D. Salinger or give it to me, the Harper Lee.
Harper Lee, yeah.
Yeah, another one which she wrote To Kill a Mockingbird, and that was it. And then she came back, though, years later, didn't she?
Yep.
The sequel.
Yeah.
Where everything kind of retrofitted who Atticus really was, right? I didn't read it, so I don't know.
I don't think many people did read it.
No, but didn't she come back and said Atticus was kind of a bad guy? I thought that's what it was about.
I don't remember. I probably did read it.
Well, Atticus was a segregationist.
Oh, yeah, right.
But he was also an egalitarian. But a lot of people, you can't be anything bad. You have to be purely good or purely bad because nuance is difficult.
Yes, this is true.
Yeah, but you're right, Tom. Who did read it? It obviously didn't have the impact that the original did. Sequel didn't live up to the original.
No one cared about it.
Mm-mm.
It was past the time
It
of
was
sensitivity.
well past the time.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. It's like books about, when it came out, segregation was still on everyone's mind. These days, not really. It's been gone for almost 60 years now.
Not with Tevin, though.
No, they make me sit on the other side of the table.
Yeah. Well, you told us to sit on this side.
Oh, yeah. I segregated myself from them. I was like,
on the video, Kevin has his own little space.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. Yeah.
Franklin
We have all
and
ours.
the Snoopy Thanksgiving. Franklin's on the table on the left all by himself.
Yeah. It's the little kids' table at Thanksgiving is where I sit.
That's sad. Very, very sad. That's all I have to say. So what's new in entertainment, Timmy?
Well, not really. I mean, things are slowly starting to get back to work with the writer's strike.
That's right. Yeah.
But the countdown is beginning already. Believe me, this is a 3-year contract. So there are going to be so many damn changes over the. I want to be positive about it, but let's be honest. The way that technology is rapidly developing, what they're agreeing to now with AI is going to be totally different 3 years down the road. So you think that this was an ugly fight? Because they obviously didn't get everything resolved either, as far as residuals, did they? So yeah, it's. But I'm glad. I'm glad they're back to work. It gives me more work because obviously for over 100 days or whatever, and I'm not whining, I interviewed filmmakers instead of actors. Well, now actors can do interviews again. So that's fun. But nothing really new in my world. I watched a movie called The Killer on Netflix.
What's that all about?
David Fincher directed it, and he's a hell of a director. Did Seven, Fight Club, Mindhunter, which is a great series.
It was a really good series. You're right.
Crime thriller about the setup is like John Wick, where an assassin goes on the run because a hit is out on him, but once they harm somebody close to him, he goes to find the assassins, that sort of thing. But it's the polar opposite. It is so low key in tone that most of the time you hear his narration about what is in the mind of an assassin in a way. And I don't think, if I can remember correctly, Tom, if you like this or not, but Mr. Robot, remember that show? Anybody see Mr. Robot with Rami Malek?
I watched a few episodes and I found it a little boring.
Yeah, where basically he's talking.
No, I've not seen.
Kind of like Michael Fassbender doing that here. But I still kept my attention for 2 hours. I will say that.
Well, there you go.
Did you finish? Because I heard you talking about it with Kristyn maybe last week. Did you finish Under the Banner of Heaven?
No.
We have one more episode, right?
I think there's one more episode.
Yeah, one more.
What an amazing series, man. That's a real eye-opener to that world, isn't it? With Mormons and yeah. What do you think of the show?
Well, I said, Catherine, if I'm going to follow the lead here, I have to marry a 15-year-old, so I hope you don't mind.
Oh, God. It's horrible.
God.
And this goes on, folks.
Yeah.
This goes on today. And she might have brought up Keep Sweet, Pray and Obey.
Mm-hmm.
That's on Netflix. That's a tough one to watch, baby.
Yeah.
And again, this is happening in the United States today, where you got the leader marrying 12-year-olds and one of his 30 wives. You know, it's insanity to think in this country today, this is happening. I mean, yes, Under the Banner of Heaven is fictional, but it's based on reality, folks.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of compounds out in southern Utah and the kind of Utah countryside that are way off the road, and a lot goes on there. You know,
this is true. Well, I mean, where were the Mansons holed up?
That was L.A.
Yeah, but they were like out in the mountains, right?
Yeah, they were.
They're always out in the mountains, out in the middle of nowhere.
Well, the Waco, Texas group, they were out in the middle of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
Another great series, Waco, if you've never seen that.
Phenomenal.
Michael
Really
Shannon and the John and Drew Dowdle from St. Paul were the showrunners. They created that series.
I didn't know that.
I didn't know that.
Waco, The Aftermath as well. Yeah. Oh, yeah. You know, those guys are talented guys. I think they've been on the podcast before. I know they were in one of their films. So
the Waco thing, though, that wasn't like a polygamy thing. That was just sort of a, they were arming themselves and the government didn't like it.
Cult.
They were isolationists, I think. What were they?
Yeah, that's about right.
Why did I watched the series. I still can't remember why they irritated the government so much. I don't think there was a good reason.
No, well, they were like building their own town or trying
Branch
to
Davidians.
Yeah, there we go.
I don't think they were marrying little kids.
No, they were. I don't think they were really doing anything wrong. It's just the ATF wanted to. They had warrants out for them, so they were going to go after them. And then someone fired the first shot, and then they basically just started shooting at each other.
Yeah, that's when Janet Reno got into trouble, and she sent in the forces. And then I don't know who started the fire, but remember all the Branch Davidians basically perished in the fire, correct?
Yeah, 28 kids.
Yeah,
82 in total.
Well, so it was a commune of sorts, or a communal living center.
Yeah,
but that's a fine line between that and a cult.
That is true. But I mean, if they're not technically doing anything wrong, they can be in a cult if they want.
I feel like the series made it seem like they weren't really doing anything wrong. Yes, they had arms and they were sort of like, they were just leave us alone. We want to be left alone.
And they believed like somebody was coming to get them. So that's why they were getting all of the weapons. And the leader of the group, commune, cult, whatever you want to call it, definitely had a few screws loose.
Right.
But
David Koresh.
Yeah, David Koresh.
There was no reason to firebomb a bunch of families.
Well, they didn't firebomb the building.
Okay, kill. Just kill.
Well, that was just a poorly planned
it was a
action against
government shit show.
Lit that place. And of course, if they built their own compound, built their own building, was it to code with their fire protections? I mean, there's a lot of pieces to it that hard to explain sometimes. But
what was the deal? Did they refuse to pay taxes? Is that one of the main things?
I think so, yeah.
I don't remember.
Do you realize how wonderful I would have been as a cult leader?
Still time.
The way I can
There's
BS up a
still
storm, I'd be a really good cult leader.
Yeah, stay away from the Kool-Aid. Don't buy any Kool-Aid.
Yeah,
There you go. Another one, Jim Jones, man. I think they're gonna that has been like a television film. in the
Yeah,
past,
yep.
but I thought that was going to be made again, and that's a fascinating one because again, if people were wondering where Drink the Kool-Aid came from, it was that incident, right?
Yeah,
How many
that's
people
exactly right. Yep.
drank the Kool-Aid? Some ran, but how many people died in that deal?
It was actually Flavor Aid.
Oh, it was
Flavor Aid. It was.
Of Kool-Aid.
It was the cheap stuff. That was nice.
And they all
job.
had the special shoes, I believe, right?
Yes.
Yep,
had
they all
special
had like they all had matching Nikes. I'm pretty sure it was.
Oh, there was the Hail Bop Comet guy.
That's a Hellbot comment.
Oh, that's a different
Oh.
one.
Yeah,
How did they kill themselves?
We need a chart.
Oh, they drank some. They drank the poison.
Also, Flavor Aid.
A large number had been castrated, I believe.
Oh,
Why?
God.
It had to do some sort of purification.
It was Heaven's Gate.
Who knows? Heaven's Gate.
Oh.
I don't know how. I don't know how you get talked into that. You know, you're a guy,
either.
and some guy says, "Hey, you know, this is what we're going to do. It's what I'm looking for in a cult. I want to get my testicles cut off.
We're gonna castrate you, give you some Nikes, and then kill you. How's that sound?
I
You know,
love it.
where's the
I'm
door?
signing up.
The saddest thing about that coverage was they had packed all their bags, so when they were taken up into the spaceship, all their belongings were taken up with them and everything like that. And there was one shot from one of the rooms down on the police van, and there was just a long line of suitcases out there they were processing for evidence, and it was just well, they didn't get up in the spaceship, sadly enough.
Did they target special kinds of people
Yes,
knowing they'd fall for this?
Well, I don't know if you target special people. Certain people are drawn to it.
Well, yeah.
I mean, there's certain people that are
okay, that
drawn
makes
to
sense.
it. I always think that it's highly intelligent people who are not educated
Or not doing so well in their life.
Yeah, who knows? Who knows why you choose that sort of radical kind of? It just seems, I guess the self-mutilation. I just never got that.
Yeah, when it gets to that point, because when it kind of starts and you hear a lot of people like, oh, well, I was at this point in my life where I had more questions than answers and I was lost and I was looking for something and then I found this cult and now it felt like home. So it like makes sense that would be, once you get to we want you to, mutilate yourself and then I'm good on all that.
Yet culturally, people grow up with this.
Yep.
In some cultures where they will scar their face, but that's a whole different piece to it. And I wouldn't call that a cult, but there's cultural pieces to changing your physical appearance. Mutilation, I guess, if you talk about female castration, that's a mutilating kind of a thing.
Sure is.
But or you could talk about circumcision being a mutilating kind of a thing. I mean,
technically it is.
Hey. Too soon. But you have to sort of, a lot of gray areas.
Yeah. Wasn't there a cult that was relatively famous in Apple Valley?
Yeah,
back in the day?
that glass pyramid thing, right?
I think so.
What was that again?
Every time I drive through
Is
Apple
that still a
Valley,
thing?
I remember seeing that thing all the time and being like, what is that?
Might still be a thing.
Let's see here.
Where
Apple
was that?
Valley Pyramid.
Was right off 35W or something?
it looks like it was back in the
They're Googling, they're
80s,
Googling.
maybe?
Or duck going.
Whatever it was. I can't find any information that this ever existed.
Okay.
It's been scrubbed. It's been scrubbed.
Maybe I made it up, but I feel like there was some sort of.
I know what you're
FBI
talking
is
about.
listening.
Or maybe I'm getting it confused with that family that made that movie that got murdered, that they lived in Apple Valley. I think that might be what I'm getting.
What's that?
The film director that was making, so there's a documentary on Hulu or Netflix, but he was making essentially an anti-government film that was kind of starting to make
When was
traction,
this?
and his entire family got murdered, and they
Whoa.
wrote with their blood, like some cryptic message on the walls of their house. Yeah.
Why don't I know about this?
Oh, sort of helter-skelter kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Nice touch.
They, by the way, spelled it wrong. I just love that. Did you know that? When they wrote Helter Skelter, Charles Manson's group wrote Helter Skelter on all the walls. They spelled it Helter Skelter. Jesus.
David Crowley.
David Crowley. I remember
that's
that name.
the murdered.
Are you thinking of the Satanist author in southern Utah, Apple Valley, Utah? inspires double murder in London.
No, I don't think so. I think I just might be confused. I swear there was a cult, but yeah, the David Crowley, that one was for sure the Apple Valley where he
Darren Cotton Ekanar in Ekankar.
Oh,
Ekankar.
I had a friend whose sister was
Chanhassen, not Apple Valley.
okay,
Close.
Chanhassen, sorry.
But yeah, the Temple of Ek. Yep.
I remember that.
Is that still a thing?
It
Yeah,
appears
she was
to be.
into
Yes.
that.
Yes,
she
it
went,
is.
she invited me to a thing, and I'm like, no.
Yep, that's exactly what I was thinking of. That weird pyramid.
I'm
thing.
not. Yeah, I'm not doing Ekaniwa religion.
What is it about? What is it about it?
Yeah, they have a website.
Oh, they're still a thing.
Ekankar is?
Ekankar.
Yeah, it's something about you pray about money and you get money or something. It was like very
God.
financially motivated thing. I'm like,
Their
Pray about
website
money
is
and you get money.
Yeah.
Their website is very generic. It's like, spiritual.
If I can get a couple dollars, we'll do
open
this
door
all the time,
faiths,
you know?
that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Is there a PayPal button there or something?
Oh, there probably is now.
Or something.
Yeah, Venmo, yeah.
God, isn't that amazing that people need that acceptance, don't they? They've never felt a part of the deal. They never felt accepted. So
Everybody needs a tribe.
yeah,
Yes, this is true. And a lot of people don't. They've been severed from their tribe, often by force.
Otherwise, we would not have professional football. You wouldn't have not have
True.
fans
That's true.
because those people you've created a community tribe. Call it what you may, but that's so important for people's well-being.
Yep, sure
You
is.
go outside without a shirt on and it's 40 below and paint yourself purple and yellow.
And what's your point?
what's your point?
It helps the team win, Tim.
It does. It does. You know what? All of this talk makes me realize you think, there haven't been that many cults, but there's a whole lot of culting
There's a lot
going
of cults.
there, isn't there?
There's
Oh my
32 of them that celebrate every Sunday.
Yeah.
Ooh, there you go.
That's a really good point. You don't have to expand the definition of a cult too much before you start. Hey, well, and then it gets into tribalism and just having a place to live or to be. Video games do that. I mean, there's some people that play these online games, and that's where they live.
There was just
Yep.
just a video.
Yeah. A gym rat.
Yeah, people with Costco memberships. That feels like a cult.
Oh, you can't afford one. Is that what it is?
Stay away from
As
my
an
Costco.
outsider.
I'll bring you in
I'm
there.
jealous.
You'll become a member.
Yeah, vegans. That's also another cult. Like
Ross.
What's Rosts?
Ross are vegans, but you see, it's another layer of doctrine on top of that. So it's another piety level that you can attain. So what you do is you eat nothing that's been heated more than 103 or 4 degrees. There's a definition.
Pasteurization, I think.
It's a nothing. So nothing. Everything you eat has to be raw or hasn't been heated too much. It can be dried and things like that. And you can't have. So we went to a Ross restaurant. You can't have anything that's too acid either. So no tomatoes, and of course no pineapple at this restaurant we went to in Santa Monica, which I thought was the fountainhead source of all rawism. So it's great. I think it's a great diet. It has to be a great diet if you threw in meat. If you threw in cannibal sandwich, you threw in sushi, stuff like that. I think it'd be you would never eat cannibal sandwich.
Too scary. No,
what is that?
It's
the people call it.
It's ground. It's
ground. It's like beef tartare.
Raw ground beef.
Oh
beef
God,
tartare.
no!
I'm
out.
Hell no.
I'll do the sushi.
Yeah.
But
Sushi, yeah, sure, but beef, I don't know.
You know what's so funny about all this? I always remember 3rd grade when the priest came in because we had to go to confession so we could go to communion, right?
Yeah.
He was talking about going to confession, and he said, just remember now, when you come into the confessional, you may think it's me sitting in the middle area, but you're actually talking to God. And I turned to Benny Crucian and I said, no way. Boy, did I get I got rode hard and put away wet for saying that. They did not find that. And I wouldn't kid. It's like, come on.
Did you find yourself at the receiving end of corporal punishment?
Yes, I did. No doubt about
Smack you
that.
with a ruler.
They did not like that.
Our parish priest was constantly over at our neighbor's house, and they drank all day long.
Oh yeah, boozing. Yeah.
And she was my best friend growing up, so I always saw the drunk priest. And I'm thinking, I'm supposed to talk to him about my problems?
Yeah.
This guy's 3 sheets to the wind 90% of the time.
What though? The ones that could pack as much punch were those nuns. And I remember my mom telling me she was outside of the school when some kid got punished by a nun, and she could hear the kid getting cracked when she was.
I went to public school. We didn't have any of that
No,
stuff.
I never got attacked by nuns.
No,
Yeah, the corporal punishment
I don't know. That must have gone out.
ended. I want to think it ended when I was in middle school.
That's probably about right.
There
Yeah.
was the ruling came down that you can now no longer strike a child with a rather large wooden object.
They probably hurt
something,
the kid bad.
Something right
and,
out of Animal House.
decided that
Well,
that's bad
yeah.
practice.
No, you can't do that.
Yeah.
No.
Because I always heard the horror stories from like my parents and grandparents. Like they used to get the ruler out and you would put your hands out and I was like, oh my gosh, I better not ever say a single word in school because
I
somebody
think
get beat.
That's
they
a paddling.
They used to do that in one-room schoolhouses. They used to whack kids all the time upside the head. I think they should bring it back.
That happened to me in 8th grade.
Maybe they'll stop stomping each other to death.
Oh, I did? Oh, so wait, again?
You guys keep bringing this stuff up, and all the times I've had my ass handed to me. 8th grade, I didn't remember what the hell I was doing.
Probably mouthing off, I guess.
Remember the old towel dispensers that you would pull down? They were like aluminum or whatever. They were metal, and you would pull the towel down. It was a continuous towel.
Yeah.
You remember that, right? He took me in there and he said, he's bitching about something. And I went, okay. He goes, show some enthusiasm, and grabbed my head and rammed it into that thing.
Oh, man.
I will never forget that he rammed my head right into that dispenser. It's like, Jesus. Don't you calm down? Maybe that's what's wrong with me.
Yeah,
no comment.
Change the course of your life, Tommy.
It takes the edge off your enthusiasm. Your head jammed
no
in.
doubt about that. So Timmy.
Yes, sir.
I know I've been raving about it a lot, and maybe I'll stop raving soon, but Catherine and I have been watching Bass Reeves, and this might be Taylor Sheridan's best so far.
Really?
What is the name of the actor that's Bass Reeves?
I don't know.
Yellowo, his name is.
He is phenomenal.
Yeah, he was in what was it? Selma? Was that the name of the film that came out about Martin Luther King a few years ago?
Oh, sure.
He's been in a lot of things. He's it's one of these guys that finally got his due with Selma, but he is a terrific actor, and I think he might be a showrunner on that one as well.
Yeah, I think maybe you're right.
Yeah.
Really good.
Yeah, the Taylor Sheridan stuff, man. I think, did I tell you on Friday, or did I mention it last week? I think it was Friday that Tulsa King is coming back.
Yes, he told me that.
I don't know when, but God, what a great show! And in the meantime, just to kind of keep you in the mood for Sly, see Sly on Netflix. It's an 1.5-hour documentary on his life, and what an incredible life it has been. That's for sure.
Yeah, he looks. I mean, he's very young in the picture on the descriptor. He's about maybe 12 or 13 years old. Something like that.
You get a lot of stuff, a lot of pictures from him and Frank in their youth. Frank was, they were the only two kids in the family. But it's a fascinating story just because it was this, he talk about going to the school of hard knocks. This guy did. And a guy that his father was a real prick. And
oh, really?
His whole life, even after he became famous, he didn't get into describing the sort of punishment he received from his father, but you surmise it was pretty bad. But even after he became famous, it's like his old man was jealous of it or something.
Yeah, sure.
You can't celebrate your own kid, even though he's at the top of the world, with his stardom. So yeah, it's you get a lot of his personal stuff in there, and film wise, it's basically the Rocky, the Rambo, and some of the Expendables. I don't think they mentioned Tulsa King, which in my opinion might be one of the best things he's ever done. So I can't wait for that show to come back, because they left the first season on a cliffhanger. So it's got to continue.
One of the greats of all time with the Chucker, when they opened Planet Hollywood, he's interviewing everybody that comes in. And of course, Sylvester Stallone was one of the owners or still is one of the owners of Planet Hollywood, I believe. Is that one still out there?
Well, it's not at the mall. I think there are a few left. It's not. It's not nearly as big as it used to be. I think the Hard Rock Cafe is kind of taken over with that sort of restaurant, that themed restaurant.
The Chuckers interviewing everybody who comes in, this guy, that guy. And Sylvester Stallone walks down the boardwalk to get in, go through the line. And the chucker, John Lastman, of course, goes, "And you are?" And Sylvester Stallone goes, "I'm Sylvester Stallone." He goes, "I'm Sly Stallone." Yeah, I'm Sly Stallone. And there's a long pause. The chucker goes, "Sty Stallone."
Well, and he also asked him about what's the real Estelle Getty like?
Yes.
Because of Stop or My Mom Will Shoot.
Exactly.
Which, incidentally, Sly admits in this documentary. I want to tell you too much. You should see it. But he admits that was his biggest mistake. Because he was trying to be funny. Again, don't try to be funny. Tulsa King has shown us that he can naturally be funny.
Yes.
Stuff like Oscar, which was a terrible movie.
Yeah, it was
funny. And then Stop or My Mom Will Shoot. I'm sure he loved Estelle Getty, but what a disaster that was. So fascinating look into his life. And I love that. I love that. And Arnold's documentary, Arnold Schwarzenegger's 3-part mini documentary. It was really cool.
Has Mr. T ever had a documentary done about him? Because he had a pretty interesting life.
Yeah, he did.
He actually, they mentioned him in Sly's documentary. I don't know. And he's still around, right? Mr. T?
I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, he was a bouncer, and he
was in Chicago.
There was some sort of life-changing thing where he wore all those chains, but he stopped wearing them because he went someplace and he had some sort of epiphany about wearing wealth all over your neck. I don't know. He just sounds like he was a much more interesting guy than I thought that he was.
I always thought the reason you wear wealth like that around your neck is to signal that you're a tough guy. You try to take it.
Oh yeah,
from
maybe.
Look, I can wear all this, and you're not going to bother me because I'm a tough guy. And I think nothing wrong with that expression, but man, that's scary.
Mm-hmm. Well, he's still around, 71 years old.
Oh, is he?
Oh, is he 71?
He's a young fella, huh?
He is. And you know what? He really didn't do a lot. I mean, you had the A Team, right? And was that before or after Rocky 3?
After, I think.
Yeah, after.
Yeah, and I'm looking at his credits, and it's a lot of Mr. T as himself sort of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But, to me, I mean, he was so terrific in Rocky 3. It's amazing he didn't go on to a stellar career. I mean, beyond the A-Team stuff, because obviously he's known for that as well. But, he appears in 2 episodes of Suddenly Susan as Mr. T. He's basically playing himself in all these
Yeah.
Yeah, but maybe he took his money, invested it well, and said, this is, it's much easier for me to watch my.
I don't want to deal with the BS. I mean, I wouldn't blame him if he did that.
Auditioning and fighting for roles. I mean, that's still there, even if you're a known talent. I mean, it's a real part of your life and the stress of your life.
God, Rocky 3 is 41 years old. 1982, Rocky 3 came out.
Jesus.
Yeah, and 18 was after. 18 was 83 to 87. So he had a good 5-year stretch where he was on top of the world, really. And then after that, he just Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. He did a voice role, a cameo and Not Another Teen Movie. Just not a lot of high-profile things.
Didn't he get in a lot of trouble with the city of, I can't remember what, it was a suburb of Los Angeles. Bought a house on like 3 acres, 4 acres of land and cut down every tree on the property.
That was Lake Forest, Illinois.
Oh, it was in
because
Illinois.
of allergies, because he had bad allergies.
He cut down all the trees.
He clear cut the lot.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Oh, in Lake Forest, that would have gone over like,
I didn't know that was in Illinois. I thought it was out in LA, but what's his great line from Rocky?
I pity the fool.
That was a good one. There was another good one though.
Oh.
After he would box, he would go, I got a lot of mo. I got a lot of mo. I thought it was wonderful.
A lot of mo?
Lots more.
Yeah.
I've got a lot more. I got a lot of mo. I loved him. I thought he was terrific. Hell of a haircut.
Mr. T had 12 siblings.
12?
Yep.
Wow.
Jeez.
11 siblings. That's including him. 4 sisters and 7 brothers. Grew up in the housing projects.
Yep.
Wow.
He was involved. I did not know he was a pro wrestler.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah.
Well, the Sloan, I'm sorry to interrupt. I have to go. I have to be somewhere else. But sorry, go ahead.
You got a lot of mo.
I got to move. Gotta go. A lot of mo.
Bye.
I got a lot of mo. I gotta go.
Yeah, he was Hulk Hogan's tag team partner.
Huh?
What?
Yeah.
I never knew that. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
No clue. I heard he's a very nice guy. I've never talked to him, but I heard he's a great guy.
So if there would have been someone wearing the chains that you would not be taking the chains from.
No, that's true.
No, nobody's coming to steal from Mr. T.
So there you go.
Oh, he stopped wearing his trademark gold chains as of 2005 because of the Katrina devastation. He went down to help or something and saw that people had nothing, and he felt
that means a lot. You see, why don't we hear about that sort of stuff? About these people that really do reach out
Oh,
and
they
help
never
and
want
do
to tell the good stuff.
No,
never. It's only the bad stuff they love to report.
Yep.
Yeah, he was a gym teacher, a military policeman, bouncer, bodyguard for Steve McQueen, Muhammad Ali, and Diana Ross. He was a very interesting guy.
Yeah, he's very interesting.
Yeah, I had no idea.
Bodyguard for Muhammad Ali. What story? What an interesting.
Yeah, and he's only 5'10", which I was surprised by.
He's big enough.
He's
tall
he
said, "You think I'm big? You should see my brothers."
He might only be 5'10", but he probably feels like he's 6'5".
Yeah,
just with the amount of muscle. That
when you look at him, you would think he's 6'5".
He's just one of those imposing type of people.
That's right. Oh,
you know, it's like,
gosh.
okay, sorry.
I'd be curious to know what part of Muhammad Ali's career he was around for being a bodyguard. Like if it was during his war protests and I'm not going over there and changing my name and all of that, like that would be, he's seen a lot just following around Muhammad Ali.
Yeah.
What's his real name?
Cassius. Oh, Mr. T?
Mr. T. Yeah.
Lawrence something.
Is it Lawrence? I think you're right. Lawrence
Turode.
Yeah.
Lawrence Turode.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, he like I said, never met him, but I heard he's a very nice guy. Really a decent human.
I wonder if he does interviews.
I don't know if he still does or not.
I wonder.
I don't know. I wonder what he is doing nowadays.
Being retired, I'm guessing.
Now he's 71, you said. So yeah, he may be retired. That is true.
Whatever happened to Mr. T?
Uh-oh, she's got it.
Agent, Mr. T.
Well, it looks like he's got an agent.
Really? I think he'll be a fascinating person to talk to and visit with. And
yes.
You're like Mike Tyson. I think he would be a very interesting person to talk to at this juncture in his life. It'd been interesting before too, but at this juncture, you know, I think he would be a very interesting person. And what he's like now. I mean, he says to himself, it's not the same person.
When he's not performing, he's throwing himself into religious work and community service.
Oh, it's very nice. See, that's what everyone who succeeds should do. No question.
No, Mike Tyson has definitely mellowed out quite a bit from his fighting days. There's a clip that will make his rounds.
He was an animal there for a while. Didn't he bite someone's ear off or something? He was crazy.
No,
he did.
There's a clip going around. Are you familiar with Hezbollah?
No,
he's like the little guy. So
I thought you were talking about Hezbollah, the terrorist group.
Oh no! So there's like
a good name.
Yeah, his name is Hezbollah. I believe is how you pronounce it. But he's
not a good name.
Essentially like a internet social media type celebrity. I'm not sure what he's famous for, but he is big into MMA, and he's hanging out with Mike Tyson, and he's a grown man. He's probably in his mid 20s, but he's a little person. And Mike Tyson thought he was like a little 3-year-old. And so Mike Tyson is like play boxing with him, and it's this grown man, and he ends up picking him up like a child and like nuzzling him on the head and like throwing him around. And somebody was like, who wants to be the one to let Mike Tyson know that that's a 28-year-old man that he just treated like a little child? They're like, we'll leave him alone. We'll let him figure it out.
It's a little embarrassing.
So Mike Tyson's mellowed out a little bit. And
Well, he said there was a lot of drugs and stuff like that. You know, he was being managed by Don King, and Don King didn't have the best interest of his fighters, the people he represented in his mind.
Yeah, that's true.
I think that everybody knows that.
Oh, Mr. T got in trouble for a commercial.
He did? A commercial for what?
Snickers. It only aired in Great Britain, in which T tells a speed walker to run like a real man, and he got in trouble with the LGBTQ community for that. And
could you relax?
How long ago was that?
It doesn't say what year that was. So it sounds like he was canceled. commercial.
So he doesn't
that
work at
did.
all anymore.
I guess he does some work, but he's also a born again Christian, so that's not looked kindly upon anymore. In
But I have
Hollywood.
a question. If he did a Snickers commercial, he didn't write the commercial.
That's right.
How's it his
He
fault?
just paid some money to say something.
Doesn't matter. You're the one that's getting the cash,
Oh
and
my
you're the
God.
star.
He should stand up and do what's right and not say that line.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
think
that's what
that's
they'll
what you're
say.
saying.
That's
Well,
right.
yeah, that's what they don't. People aren't going to do the work to figure out who's on the writing staff and
No,
the
I
board
suppose.
meeting.
Run like a real man.
Okay, I got to run this by Catherine. She's not going to like this question. My guess is anyway.
Oh no.
And the reason I
no.
thought of this because I just saw Jude come over to get pets from Tevin.
Jude.
Because Judy loves Tevin.
Yep.
His buddy.
Most days.
Most days. Catherine, they have decided, and it was released in a nationwide release today,
Tabbies are illegal.
that pets do not make you happy.
Who are they?
Well, that's
I
the
know.
thing. It's like
Who be they?
some
Who be they?
random.
Big, you see it in? You got the story in there?
I don't know.
They can kiss my ass.
Is there a big pet industry? They're lying to us about how happy pets
Oh
are.
well, there are some worldwide campaigns against dogs because they eat meat and meat is bad. And
Oh my
so
God!
They're
would they
trying to
back
turn
off?
it into that we should not have pets. That
Whoa,
pets just take
wait
up-
a second.
Yep.
You're working a dog food plant?
No, I never have.
I have.
You have?
Really?
I have.
Yeah.
And there's very little meat in
Oh yeah,
most
it's
dog
most
food.
byproduct a lot.
Well, we can't have crops going to dogs. It's all global
Well,
warming.
but we can have crops going into our gasoline tank.
No. we
Oh,
can't
there
have
we
anything.
go. Okay, so none of our crops
You
can
have
go
to
to
live.
any.
Yeah, you have to live within walking distance of everything, Ralph.
It's
Come
true.
on.
And you can't. It's against dogs. What about against cats?
I don't think you're supposed to have any pets anymore. Pets are bad.
Pets are just bad. So what are they going to do?
Mm-hmm.
Just kill all the dogs?
I think you just
Release them to the
probably.
wild?
They're going to run wild?
No, I think you just kill everything.
Here's the story. Did they poll real pet owners for this, or people just bought a chinchilla 2 months ago, 2 months into COVID, and regretted it? A new study at Michigan State found that having pets might not make us any happier.
I can't imagine a chinchilla making me happy, but that's just me.
I understand that.
Chinchillas are funny. They take dust baths.
They do?
Yep. They
Yeah.
roll around in dust.
God. Early in the pandemic, in May of 2020, researchers talked to over 750 people 3 separate times to gauge how well they were coping. In general, pet owners said that their pets were definitely helping by offering companionship and affection, but they also mentioned the downside, things like cost, worrying about their pet's health, and how they could be a nuisance while working from home. In the end, the study found it was a wash. People who didn't have pets were just as happy overall. People say that pets make them happy, but when we actually measure happiness, that does not appear to be the case.
And that just means for absolutely everybody all the time.
Yeah.
Well, see, I talked about that earlier on the show this morning. I said,
Ugh.
we have got to stop with this. You have to do exactly what I do or I hate you. It's like, what?
That
Doesn't
would
seem
be
to be what
nice.
this study is saying, though.
Well, no, I'm just saying that's the way the world is now. What I'm saying in this particular instance is I guarantee you that Catherine and I are happier because Jude's alive.
And yeah, is he a giant pain in the ass sometimes? Yes, absolutely. But so are my children. So is my husband. So are my friends.
For your husband.
So is having a house. So is
Right.
having a
Yeah.
car.
But
Can be a pain in the ass at some point.
But a pet can be a raison d'etre, a
Yes,
reason for being,
absolutely.
and all those things, those challenges, give you something to live for and to care for and to love, and you get unconditional love. So
Yeah, and I would
Yeah.
be curious to know what their metric of happiness is. Like
Yeah.
you're
There you
talking
go.
about it earlier. It was like just because you have Jude doesn't mean I just give you a pet and you're no longer going to be depressed and
Right.
everything is magical in your life.
No,
but it
it's
definitely
true.
does bring more happiness
Right.
more often than not.
takes the edge off that depression. Sadness.
right now.
I'd rather be sad with a cute dog
There you
that
go.
Yeah.
loves me every time it
Mhm.
sees me than be alone, completely alone.
Right.
Yep.
Exactly. My brother right now, he has a puppy.
Puppy.
And his puppy is insane.
As they are.
What-
You can
which-
hear.
Did Terry get a dog?
Yeah, he still has his
Oh.
other dog, but
Yeah.
this younger dog is just so. If you talk to him, it sounds like he's got a pack of coyotes screaming at all times because the dog has so much energy and just wrestles with the big dog.
Yep.
And then finally the big dog throws her, down and says, knock it off, Grr. And 3 minutes later, he lays down and she's at it again, pouncing on him and screaming and yelling. And he's like, I'm never having a puppy again. Because they're a giant pain in the, but they're so damn funny and cute at the same time. Like I said, you could say that about children.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah.
Every moment Ethan's awake, you got to watch him, or else something bad will happen.
Yeah, and
Wait a minute, he's got red wine vinegar.
And he doesn't always sleep. But I mean, he's funny and he's cute and you love him. And I mean, you wouldn't trade him for the world. Everything can be a pain in the ass.
That's true.
Did you hear that story, Ralphie?
No,
Seven's heard it.
Heaven, yeah.
Andy, you got to tell him.
Oh, well, I mean, you kind of already told it. It's not a very complicated story.
Yeah.
We were over at my uncle's house for the Brandt get together.
Yeah.
And Ethan was there and he goes into the kitchen and he just scopes the place out, grabs a bottle of red wine vinegar and just runs away as fast as he can with it. As if he had just taken, the idol at the beginning of Indiana Jones.
He comes into a room full of people, looks around at everybody, and then all of a sudden laser focuses on this bottle of vinegar and just runs out with it. It was hilarious.
He probably thought it was his juice because we give him give him pomegranate juice every so often. So he was probably like, juice.
I don't know, but it was hilarious. It's like, what the hell was that?
No, when I was a little kid, we would have my grandparents called it cousin camp, but it was just all of our cousins being at our grandparents' house. And at night while they were sleeping, one of us, which was usually me, got designated to go up into the pantry and sneak
some
cookies
snacks,
and maybe some juice. And so I remember I went up there one night, it's dark, I opened the fridge and I took a glass of what I thought was grape juice. Grandma's boxed wine.
Whoa.
I was like, this is the worst tasting grape juice I've ever had in my life, and immediately dumped it out and grabbed the piece of it back downstairs. Yeah,
whoops.
Not what I thought it was.
No.
But I don't know, getting back to it, I just don't understand. Well, I told the story about how Jude sits right between you and me every night.
Yes.
And when you get up to go to bed, I get up and hug her and kiss her good night. And
Jude wags his tail and looks at you like, time for me.
Time for you to pet me now. Let's go pet me.
Yep.
No, he definitely makes us happier. There's no question.
I like having a dog. I like dogs.
Well, you have to be a specific kind of person though, because a lot of people, when COVID hit, they became isolated.
Right.
And they were like, oh, well, I'll just get a dog.
Right.
Yes. And there's a lot of people out there who they didn't grow up with dogs. They've never taken care of anything in their lives. And they're very self-centered.
Yes.
So just having to feed a dog twice a day is too much.
And
for
walking a dog is like a lot for some people.
Oh yeah, a lot of these people who live in apartments, I probably wouldn't want a dog if I lived in an apartment.
Probably not. Yeah.
No, you have to go out and walk them over 6-7 times a day.
Well, a puppy, you kind of do.
Yeah. And I'll see people that have huge dogs that live in an apartment.
Oh, God,
and I'm
no.
like, what are you doing? This dog should live on a farm.
Yep.
Oh, no. Oh, no. We had a shepherd. We had a German shepherd girl.
You won't see him for 12 hours.
And she loved it inside. She hated being outside, hated the snow. And you get her out there, you take her for a walk, and then let's get back inside here. Let's rock.
Nipsey and Cassie were the exact opposite.
Yeah,
just
they
open
were
the door,
farm
they
dogs.
bolted out, they'd come back 6 hours later.
Oh God, they were nuts.
Yep.
Got some bad news for you, Catherine.
What's that?
AAA just released some information saying this is going to be the busiest highway season this Thanksgiving that it's ever been.
Well, of course, the population keeps increasing.
Yeah.
Why? Because flights are so crazy expensive.
AAA put out its annual travel report for Thanksgiving, and it looks like, clear roads ahead. Just kidding, you're screwed. AAA expects 55.4 million people to travel for Thanksgiving this year. That's the third most since 2000 and a 2.3% increase over last year. More than 49 million of those people will drive. 4.7 million will fly. 1.6 million will get there when they're going some other way, like buses and trains. So what's the best ways to leave town? Unless you're taking off for 4 or 5 days early, everything sucks. That's what it says in the article. They all suck, apparently.
Wow.
next Tuesday and Wednesday are the worst overall, and Sunday is the worst day to head home. Yeah, because that's everybody leaves on the Wednesday or Tuesday or Wednesday, and everybody comes home on Sunday.
We left L.A. We left L.A. on the Wednesday before Thanksgiving once in the afternoon, because that's what actually we've done with work.
Yeah,
we were driving to Vegas, and we were driving to Vegas, and the 4.5 hour drive that it usually takes ended up taking 8 hours.
Oh God!
It was slow and go, stop and go for 300 miles.
Sounds like hell.
Oh, it was absolute hell. Oh,
Sounds like hell.
Mess.
So it's 9 days away. Thanksgiving is only 9 days away now.
So why is this such a big travel year?
Says no matter the day, you might hit less traffic if you leave at 10 o'clock or before 10 o'clock in the morning or after 7 p.m. The worst time to drive is between 2 and 6 the day before Thanksgiving. You'll hit 11% more traffic than normal on the road. One piece of good news from the report, gas might be a little cheaper this time. So that's good. It doesn't say why it's going to be so busy.
Are they talking about people that are like going from point A to point B in the city?
I think they must be talking about road trips and stuff.
No, I think they're talking about everybody.
Yeah, I think they're
who
just talking about
moves around. Everybody moves around to go to.
I feel like that number doesn't really feel that staggering, because I feel like everybody goes somewhere unless it's you're the one hosting.
Right.
Yeah, I suppose that's true.
And there's all these Friendsgivings now, and you know,
what's that? Yeah.
Friendsgiving. So you don't have family or you hate your family or whatever, you can still have Thanksgiving with just your friends.
Or they'll do it like the day before type of thing. Yeah.
Well, the day before is the highest drinking day of the year.
Oh, yeah. If you're like small towns, love the day before Thanksgiving. Everybody goes back to whatever hole in the wall bar they
grew up in.
Well, it used to be that everything was closed on Thanksgiving. You know, now I don't think that's the case anymore.
Yeah, you know what? I think you're right about, because that shocked me when I first saw it a couple of years ago. A lot of stuff was open on Thanksgiving. I thought, God. Well, I know Byerly's used to be open until noon on Thanksgiving.
Yeah, and sometimes things close, but it's not as early anymore. And isn't Black Friday on Thursday? Friday after Thanksgiving.
Well, now Black Friday is pretty much every day in November.
I know. I've been having Black Friday ads in my mailbox for I don't even know a month already.
We're bringing you our Black Friday deals early. Here's our Cyber Monday.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Amazon has had 14 Black Friday sales already. Yeah.
How come people aren't canceling that?
I don't know.
It really bothers me.
Do people?
I know.
Why? Because there's no White Friday for you.
Oh, no White Friday. We got no White Friday.
Well, it's Black Friday and then White Saturday, and then we'll have brown the Sunday.
Not in the Red Friday.
No Red Friday.
How about Cyber? Well, Cyber Monday already basically everyone does everything online now.
Yeah.
There's no reason to stampede malls anymore.
Oh my gosh, those videos used to be so good.
They were
People just acting a fool. And I always thought it would be funny to like stand in line at Target and then go grocery shopping while everybody's just being a menace over in the regular section.
I just need one loaf of bread. Thank you.
I'm here for some milk.
Yeah.
It's interesting that people talked about people would get up at midnight. Go shop until 6 or 7 in the morning, then go to work.
Well, people used to camp out overnight with tents and stuff. The PlayStation 2 comes out. People are lined up around the block starting at 10 o'clock at night and waiting until the store opens.
Best Buy was a big one for that.
I cannot imagine wanting anything that much.
No, and people would go to the stores the day before and like hide a TV in the kids' clothing section, so that way they can just sneak in the next day and grab it. And so
fist fights.
Oh my gosh, it's all a mess.
Well, you could just wait a week.
I think people I think it's the excitement of it or something, or
they need something to do.
Yeah, I think it's something better.
People need a tribe. They need a tribe. Yep. It's another kind of
consumerism is a tribe, absolutely.
And you could save a lot of money. They have those door busters and all that stuff. And I mean, let's face it, you got $20 to spend on Christmas. You're gonna have to stretch it as far as you can.
I suppose that's true. So it doesn't say why so much more travel this year, but I don't know. Andy pointed out at the very beginning, there are more people now.
Yeah, every year there's going to be more people.
That's true.
So
and also we're still coming out of this COVID kind of non-travel kind of a thing.
Yeah,
there's still ripples of that are going to continue for another couple of years. Not a lot, but it's people haven't been out and about, so they want to finally get out.
Yeah, I was talking to a friend of mine who's a teacher. She went back to teaching, and she said what is it, the third graders or the fourth graders? She said they're different because they were locked. Some school districts were gone. I mean, they didn't have school for 2 years.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. They said those kids that never got to get into school and socialize and get instruction and stuff, she said they're different.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know. She didn't expand on it too much, but she said I don't know what's going to happen with these kids.
I'm telling you though, as a Catholic kid growing up, that Wednesday came along, I'd get up Wednesday morning, go to school. It's like, I get 3:00 today. I'm wide open for 4.5 days, baby.
Oh,
that was wonderful.
Yes.
I remember in school, we would always look ahead at the calendar because the best day to have Christmas on was we wanted Christmas Eve on Wednesday.
Yep.
Because then Monday and Tuesday, the teachers are going to mail it in because we only got a half week. And then it was,
and all the kids are psycho anyway.
Yeah. And then it was because I think we got like 10 days off, and it was like, well, we get an extra day because New Year's Eve is going to be on a specific day of the week. So then we get the rest of that week off. And so, we were fanatical.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. It's one of my favorite holidays. I love that. I like Easter too, and you don't even get anything off for Easter, do you?
Yeah, you can.
You can get Monday off or something.
Well,
it depends.
It's not Easter anymore. It's spring break.
Oh, Jesus. Is anything all right?
I think it's Easter if you go to a parochial school, but not if you're in regular.
Well, wouldn't it be Passover?
I don't think
you're for some parochial schools.
I think you can still say Passover. You just can't say Easter.
Why?
And you still get Good Friday off, right?
That I don't think so.
No.
Well, yes,
Do
I
you?
think that was usually part of
Spring
but
break
I
or
think it's now
whatever.
part of spring break. I think you just get a week off for spring break now.
Well, now they're saying that you got to stop decorating in red and green because it's offensive.
One woman somewhere decided that that's what we should do, and now
We pay way
that's
too much
national
attention
news.
to just
You know what?
stupid people.
Arrest me and throw me in jail. Okay, fine. I'll go to jail for the Christmas tree.
And if you have somebody that doesn't celebrate Christmas, just let me know what they celebrate, and we can put their decorations up.
Put their color up.
I won't. Yeah.
Put their whatever up. I don't care either. It's like, God bless.
Yep. There was a Jewish family that lived a block away from us growing up. And I remember one year I got invited over to partake in like all their Hanukkah stuff. And we had so much fun spinning a dreidel. So it doesn't matter if you know what's going on or celebrate it, you can have fun and enjoy their time.
Absolutely.
Did you actually play the dreidel or did you just spin it?
I just spun it. I really didn't know what was going on, but it was, they kind of explained a little bit and I had fun. We sung the song, had good food. We lit the menorah candles and stuff.
Yep. Absolutely.
It's a great remembrance. I mean, any kind of holiday that's peace and love. Why are we going to argue about that?
Right.
Why are we arguing about this? Why are we worried about it?
Yeah, and eliminating your religion is not inclusive.
Right.
Yep.
If you're going to be inclusive, you better stop eliminating people's religions.
And I still don't understand why any of that stuff goes on in this late in the game, for God's sake.
Like I said, everything's like a power thing. Like I said,
It is, yeah.
We were talking about that last night. So, one of the reasons why I'm kind of anti-women right now. I am.
Jeez.
I am. I'm a little bit. I'm miffed by. I'm miffed. I am. I am very unhappy with the way that women needed a voice. They needed to be included. They did, and now they are doing the exact. They're acting like idiots, just like everybody else that ever got all the power.
It's the same deal.
Yeah,
Canceling. You can't have this. We're going to punish you. We're going to shame you. We're going to. They're acting just as obnoxious as anybody else that gets the whole pie.
Yep.
I'm disgusted with it. And that's how I feel.
Well, I don't blame you. Nothing is good anymore. You can't celebrate any holidays. Oh, don't do that. Don't do this. Don't be happy.
Yeah, I got to put you down to build me up. That's not how it's supposed to work.
It's a famous Marge Simpson quote.
What's that?
I don't want to sound like a killjoy, but because this is not to my taste, I don't think anyone else should be able to enjoy it.
Exactly. That's exactly right. The joyless woman-ish. I don't like her.
But isn't that the way it always is? that as soon as people are freed and get some power, they abuse it every time.
Well,
Power corrupts.
A lot of
We've known
people
it for
do.
years.
Yep.
Power corrupts.
A lot of people do, and I thought women had a little bit different of an agenda. I thought it was going to be a little bit different approach, but it isn't. It's
Power always goes the exact same
might,
direction.
and make you miserable.
Well, they've done studies that show that female leaders are actually more likely to start wars.
Yeah, they are.
Is that just because there's been so few female leaders that if one starts a war, now the percentage is 90% of them instead of whereas there's more
It is
men?
hard to
like
say.
per
That could be
capita
part of it, yeah.
type of thing.
Or it could be like, you got to show that you can be strong. It's like, that sort of thing.
With the Falkland Islands, did Margaret Thatcher start that war, or did Argentina start that war?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, who started a war is always the other side. Always started the war.
Well,
We
yeah.
just were
Right now,
unwitting. We were forced into it by the other barbaric side.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think Catherine pointed out to me several times that most college students have no idea that Hamas started this conflict.
No.
They have no clue. Isn't that sad? Why don't you go back and do a little reading before you have an opinion on a war? That'd be kind of
it's
nice.
interesting. I think we have, like I said, we've got bigger problems in this country than all of this little petty bullshit about Christmas trees and all this.
Right.
I mean, right now there's a U.S. Treasury report came out today. I think it was the U.S. Treasury report. 40% of taxpayers' money now goes to paying the national debt every day.
I know.
40% of all taxes collected are just going to the interest. Just for the interest. I don't know what that means for the economy. It doesn't sound good, though.
No, it does not sound. I have
Doesn't
to
sound
agree
good.
with you. That does not sound good at all. in
And
any
now,
way,
and
shape,
now,
or
and they're
form.
still trying to scrounge around for more billions and billions of dollars to give to other people for
Mhm.
war stuff.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't get it.
Well, on that note, let's go home and take a nap.
That's right. And pass that bowl of Prozac.
Yeah, we need the Prozac worse than ever. But look, we got Thanksgiving coming up. I'm going to enjoy it. I'm going to have a great time. Christmas is magnificent. New Year, whatever holiday you got, I'm in. I'm good to go. I love celebrating holidays.
Yeah, enjoy your life and let me enjoy mine.
There you
Okay.
go. That's it.
Can we do that?
We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Thank you.